Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
A lot going on around the Phillies organization today, some of which happened down in Florida in Clearwater, where Ryan Howard and Chase Utley both played in an extended spring game, both hit in an extended spring game, and actually both looked pretty good. Chase Utley went yard for the second time since he returned to Clearwater. All the reports, at least up to this point, are positive. Then we switch to Philadelphia in Citizens Bank Park, where earlier today Scott Sheridan, the Phillies' head athletic trainer, and Roy Halladay talked to the media and confirmed the injury that they told us about concerning Doc last week, that it is indeed a grade 1 strain. He has begun his rehab and hopefully will be back in the very near future to help the Phils through the stretch run. And now topic number 3. The game. The Dodgers and the Phils, game 3 of this 4-game series. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Chris Wheeler. We'll talk more about everything else that happened today a little later on in the telecast. But let's talk about this series and tonight's ball game. It hasn't gone that well for the Phils over the last 4 games, in particular these 2 games against the Dodgers.
Well, both very winnable, Tom, as so many games have been this year. But once again, it's lack of offense that's killing the Phillies. On Monday, here we go into the 9th inning with D. Gordon at third base, and Herrera, who has been unbelievable, knocks in the run. That would win the game for them. Then last night, great battle that Herrera has here with Cliff Lee. You see Carlos Ruiz's reaction. It was a curveball on a 3-2 pitch. They had battled, and the young player won the battle, knocked in 2, and they would win the game 2-1. It's really been a difficult homestand for the Phillies. They won the first game in dramatic fashion, really a tough game against Miami here the other night. And then look what's happened on Saturday, on Sunday, and then the 2 games against the Dodgers. And a total of just 4 runs in the series. 3 runs in 1 inning, 1 run in another, and that's really not going to get it done.
Yeah, 9 runs overall scored by the Phillies during this 4-game losing streak. They find themselves 5 games back right now in the National League East, and also 7 games back in the loss column. So they're looking to right the ship tonight. It's game 3 from Citizens Bank Park between the Phils and the Dodgers. Chris Capuano, who's kind of resurrected his career with L.A. He's 7-2 in 11 games. And Kyle Kendrick, 2-4 this year with a 4.02 earned run average. Well, one guy who won't be in the lineup tonight for the Phillies is Placido Polanco. This spike last night caused a laceration on an index finger. He's out today, might be out tomorrow. Lineups at first pitch when we get back. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Every new Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. By Citizens Bank, we're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. And by Independence Blue Cross. No matter where you are in life or business, we have plans that fit. Go to plansthatfit.com. For game 3 of this series, the Dodgers have won the first 2. Jim Thome, all smiles, back in town. He flew in this morning. He's been activated from the disabled list after a stiff back sent him on the shelf. Pete Orr has been optioned to Lehigh Valley. Jim will not play the field. He is strictly going to be a pinch hitter or a designated hitter because the Phillies have 9 games coming up against American League teams, and he said that it felt good to get some at-bats, which is exactly what he did down in Clearwater. Let's take a look at the Dodgers starting lineup for tonight. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at shortstop, D. Gordon. Elian Herrera, he'll bat second for the Dodgers. Bobby Abreu hits third. Andre Ethier will bat cleanup. A.J. Ellis, the catcher, bats fifth. James Loney starting tonight for the first time in the series. He'll hit sixth. And the bottom third of Kennedy, Gwynn, and Capuano. And they'll face Phillies right-hander Kyle Kendrick. Kendrick has been good lately for the Phils. His record 2-4, his earned run average 4.02, and they need him to dial up a dandy tonight.
Yeah, and this is a team he struggled against too. Has a high earned run average, does not pitch very well against the Los Angeles Dodgers throughout his career. But as you said, Tom, they really need him to pitch well. And then, of course, they need a lot of things right now. And another thing, they need to score some runs for no matter who their pitcher is. Last night, you can't pitch better than Cliff Lee did. And, you know, they don't win the ball game. See his career numbers against Los Angeles, an earned run average of 8, which is, you know, kind of ridiculous. He's a much better pitcher than that, and hopefully will be here tonight. Nissan Keys, to the game, will score in more than 1 inning. That's what they've done in the last 2 games, just scored in 1 inning. And gosh, they got to start winning games here in this ballpark.
Yeah, Phillies are 12-17 here at Citizens Bank Park. All right, here we go. First pitch of the night, and Gordon shows bunt, and it's a strike. It's no balls and 1 strike. It was a strike on the bunt attempt, according to Darrell Cousins, the home plate umpire. Gordon 230 with a home run and 11 runs batted in. He has 12 infield hits. He and Juan Pierre are among the leaders. 0-2 the count to Gordon. Juan was really hard on himself last night for not making that catch on the fly ball by Herrera. Murph was saying that there was a nice scene in the dugout where Cliff Lee came over to him and said, "Hey man, don't worry about it. Nice attempt." And there's a call. Ooh, a ball low. 1-2.
It looked like he was coming up with a
He did.
right arm there, did Darrell Cousins, a veteran home plate umpire. Oop, Carlos thought so too.
I think that's what I was sold on, was that Carlos was about ready to throw it around the horn. Cousins is the crew chief. He had a rough night in game 1 of this series at second base, at least in the first inning. Ron Culp was at first, DJ Rayburn at second, and Jim Wolf around to third. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to Gordon. Inside, 2-2. Cliff Lee last night, 12 strikeouts for the Phillies. He didn't give up any runs until the 8th inning with 2 outs. It's a heck of a night. Here's a pop up into shallow left field. Pierre calls off Rollins, 1 away. A lot of talk today about whether Juan Pierre should have or should not have been in the game last night. A lot of times Charlie Manuel will make a double switch and put John Mayberry in left field late in the ball game. But what we suspected that last night was what Charlie was thinking, that he wanted Pierre, who was due to lead off the bottom of the 8th, to hit again, because he's just been a better hitter than John Mayberry.
Right, we addressed that last night, that it was the 8th inning. It wasn't the 9th inning. It was the 9th inning. He's not going to come. You hope he's not going to come up, so maybe you put somebody else out there.
Here is Herrera, who was the right-handed hitter last night that won the game for the Dodgers. In fact, he won the game last night and the night before.
But it was the 8th inning, and he was due to lead off, and it was only 1-0.
Want to know the count to Herrera. They get 2-0.
This guy's been terrific for them since he's come up. There's Cliff Lee, we were talking about the tough loss last night. This Herrera has done a tremendous job, and they move him all over the place too. Infield, outfield.
Shows bunt, takes strike 1.
They say his best position, second base.
Well, tonight he's playing third. He's also played center field. I think Don Mattingly likes the versatility. What manager wouldn't?
Really? And a switch hitter.
Little high, 3-1. He was a career minor leaguer, 27 years old. He hit .358 to start the year at AAA. But during the course of his career, he hit over 300 one or two times, but never did he hit .358 as Bobby Abreu waits on deck. Foul ball, and it's 3-2 to Herrera.
Well, he battled a lot of fastballs, and then finally a curveball. Always interesting to see the catcher's reaction there too. You see Carlos Ruiz like, oh no, you know, he hung it.
I think Carlos thought it was going out of the yard.
Yeah, and he knew that, you know, they really felt comfortable they'd thrown the right pitch there. It just, he didn't get it where he wanted to.
Payoff pitch, fouled back. It remains 3-2. That guy takes the game very seriously, and whether he should have caught it or not, I don't know. I mean, it was a tough play no matter who was out there. But he looked at it in video and said he should have caught it. This was Pierre speaking. Again, the 3-2 pitch. Little high, ball 4. So Herrera's aboard, a 1-out walk. First walk of the night. And here comes Bobby Abreu. I don't think Bobby's been fazed at all by all the boos that he's heard since he's arrived back in town.
Bobby was a guy that nothing much fazed him anyway.
No.
Bobby showed up and played, and you can almost always write him in the lineup. He is and was, and well, not as much now, but was an everyday major league player against right-handers, left-handers. He just put him in the lineup and he played.
2,414 hits in his career, and Charlie said today that he thought his base hit last night was the key to the inning. And you see his overall numbers: 285 home runs, 1,339 runs batted in. His lifetime average used to be over 300, but it's dipped under 300.
He got a big hit with 2 strikes and pulled the ball in the hole.
There's a strike at the knees, 1 ball and 1 strike to Abreu.
That was a base hit that Pence made the great throw to third. 2 guys thrown out at third base in 1 inning, and you lose the game somehow. It's really hard to do.
Herrera goes, pitch is swung on and missed. The throw to second, right on the nose. Rollins applies the tag. That's the best throw of the series for Ruiz.
Great pitch to handle too. It was up, looked like a fastball or a cutter, something that's up in the zone. See, when that's such a good pitch to throw on for a catcher, makes a strong throw. I don't know whether they're playing hit and run there or not. I have to tell if you can see whether Herrera, how he reacted to that, but he's obviously out at second.
Yeah, he didn't get a very good jump.
He thought he was out twice the other night at second too.
Here's the 1-2 pitch to Abreu, and he got it on the outside corner. It's a cutter, and it's a called strike 3. First strikeout for Kendrick. No runs, no hits, nobody left. On to the bottom of the first. There's Chris Capuano when we get back. To you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Juan Pierre hits second. Hunter Pence third, then Carlos Ruiz. Shane Victorino's in center field. He'll bat fifth. Ty Wigginton starts at third tonight for Placido Polanco. He'll hit sixth. John Mayberry at first base, then Freddie Galvis, the number 8 hitter. And finally Kyle Kendrick, and they'll face 33-year-old left-hander Chris Capuano, who's been really good for the Dodgers. 7-2 with a 2.50 earned run average. He had kind of a rough start his last time out against the Rockies, but beyond that, he's been in total control of every team that he's basically faced.
Guy's a great story too. Twice he's undergone Tommy John. Not once, but twice. And here he is in the major leagues. We saw him with the Mets last year. He's also pitched with Arizona, Milwaukee, and the Mets. And then as a free agent with the Dodgers, he'll pitch inside with a slider and a cutter. He has a changeup, pretty good curveball too. And there are his career numbers against the Phillies. A very good earned run average. He has never won a game. And in this ballpark here in Philadelphia, he has a 3.71 earned run average in 3 starts and is 0-2.
Well, he'll face Jimmy Rollins to lead it off. It'll be Rollins, Pierre, and Pence. Capuano last year was 11-12 with the Mets, a 4.55 earned run average. See Jimmy's numbers: 4 for 15 against Capuano with a home run. He takes a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. He's not going to blow up the radar gun at all. High 80s with his fastball.
No, he's a crafty lefty. He has a lot of different pitches, though. Pitching from the third base side of the rubber.
Rollins hooks it deep down the left field line and out of play. It's 0-2.
Hard to believe a guy could have that operation twice and still pitch in the major leagues.
Well, they're one of 9 major leagues. He's one of 9 major leaguers who has had the operation twice. Jose Rio had it 5 times.
Wow.
A semblance of it 5 times. 1-2 the count.
Well, this guy, it's not like he couldn't do something else. He's a Phi Beta Kappa at Duke. There it is. Right? That's good, right?
Yeah, he's a smart dude.
Yeah, I think that's real good. Economics.
Swing and a miss and a change up. First out of the day. So Rollins is rung up. He was looking inside, and Capuano threw it outside.
Well, the whole at bat, he was in, and then he gets him out away with a changeup. Boy, that had some fade on it. That was a good one.
1 out. Juan Pierre's the hitter. Pierre was 0 for 4 in last night's ball game.
Capuano was victimized by a Coors Field game his last time out, and poor defense by his teammates. Committed 4 errors in that game. And you know, you can have games at Coors Field where you just go, all right, let's move on, turn the page, and let's forget about it.
Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Mary Lou Borita from Downingtown, PA. If the Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game, then Mary Lou will win $200. 0-1 the count. 1 ball, 1 strike the count.
Finally have a nice weather night too. It is beautiful here tonight.
Wheels, don't jinx Mother Nature.
Really? It's supposed to rain?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, good. I ran into Mike Stiles tonight. He said we're good. So I thought I was safe. I didn't think, well, maybe you heard something change.
Mike Stiles, who is one of the Phillies vice presidents, who is nice enough to give us updates on the weather throughout the day when there's any chance of any storms.
Yeah. He said it's good tonight.
It's 1-2 to Pierre. 331 hitter. Back toward the box. And there it's runs.
About as still as you're going to see a night here too. Hardly any wind at all to affect the baseball.
Very comfortable to sit and watch the Phils and the Dodgers. Game 3 of a 4-game series. Citizens Bank Business Person Special tomorrow.
See, those flags are not moving.
Tonight, a number of little leaguers got a chance to wander around the playing field along the warning track. Must have been a great thrill. Hunter Pence, a cut and a miss, and it's 0-1.
As they're going out there past the bullpen, Kyle Kendrick and Mick Billmeyer and Carlos Ruiz were already out there stretching in the outfield, and Carlos was waving to people. I thought, what a kick that has to be for those kids to be that close to Carlos Ruiz.
Hunter Pence was signing autographs over on the sidelines and the warning track to down the right field line while they were walking by as well. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2.
Well, you can see that real good changeup this guy has. He hasn't used his breaking ball yet, his curveball.
Comes in with a sidearm fastball. It's 1-2.
When he comes inside, he will pitch inside, as we said. He doesn't throw real hard, but he likes to come inside to get you out of the way.
See the distribution of pitches. The curveball that Wheels is talking about, take a look at it. And if you're old enough to remember Sandy Koufax, nobody can throw the curveball like Sandy Koufax did. But Capuano's curveball is derived from Sandy Koufax's curveball. 3-2 pitch to Pence. Swing and a miss. Oof. And that's the second strikeout for Capuano. That was a changeup. He got Rollins on a change swinging. He got Pence on a change swinging. And the Phils go down in order. Take a look at it. This is what you're going to see most of the night. Maybe not the swing, but at least that kind of pitch from Chris Capuano. App for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit Phillies.com for more details. One in the books. Time for the second. Andre Ethier, A.J. Ellis, James Loney for the Dodgers. Ethier and Loney have combined for 13 hits and 27 at-bats against Kyle, both left-handed hitters. See Ethier's numbers: 309 with 9 home runs and 46 runs batted in.
Well, Loney's been in a real funk and not swinging the bat at all, but they figure they're going to get him back out there against Kyle Kendrick tonight. And, you know, as you said, a guy that he maybe can handle and get well.
Ethier fouls it away. He's the National League leader. Ethier is, and runs batted in. No balls and 1 strike. Kyle in his last 2 outings, and you could even put the first inning of tonight's game in there, has allowed just 2 earned runs in 15 1/3. He's quietly been efficient for the Phils, and he even had to endure a rain delay in his last outing and still came out, battled, and did a nice job.
He'd been a valuable pitcher around here for a number of years, because he can jump in any role.
That's hit hard towards second. Galvis is there. 1 away. Ethier's retired. Earlier today, the Phillies held a press conference to update the condition of Roy Halladay. Let's check in with Scott Sheridan, the Phillies athletic trainer, about what he said at the press conference.
Dr. Alchek was concerned about some of the changes in Roy's rotator cuff. And we had seen those changes when we signed him. And basically, he just wanted to get a better picture of that. So he looked at his previous MRI from 2009, compared it to his current MRI, and basically found that there are minimal changes in his cuff from 2009 to now.
That's part of the good news from the press conference today. Dr. Alchek, who Scott was referring to, is the New York Mets team physician who Roy went to see for a second opinion, and he concurred with what Dr. Michael Cicotti, the Phillies team doctor, said was the injury, which is a grade 1 strain. And when they were talking about the rotator cuff, they were talking about a normal rotator cuff, that Dr. Alchek saw some changes in what would normally be a rotator cuff, and that's why he wanted to see the previous films. Back in 2009, as A.J. Ellis fouls one away, and it's 1-2, when the Phillies acquired Doc and then signed him to a new deal, they took MRI scans of his shoulder, of his elbow, everything. So they used those as a reference point. That's why there was a delay. They wanted to see those scans. And everything is on target from what we heard last week. So nothing new for Doc except that he's been symptom free and he's beginning shoulder exercises to try to get stronger. I thought it was pretty enlightening, Murph, to be honest with you, with what they said today.
Yeah, it was interesting stuff. I think one of the best things that Roy Halladay had to say as Ellis loops one, and what a catch by Freddie Galvis. We'll talk more about him in a minute, but let me tell you about Roy Halladay. It was interesting because he said there was so much talk in the spring about whether or not he was the same Roy Halladay, whether or not his velocity was down, and he addressed that today. He said, you know what, he can tell when the ball is leaving his hand when he has it, when it's coming out of his hand the right way. And he said there were many, many times this season that he felt exactly that way. He felt just like he always does. And he said there's other times when he didn't feel that way, and that's the same as every other season. So he doesn't believe that this injury that is affecting him right now had anything to do with maybe some early season struggles. He thought he just wasn't able to get comfortable at some points this season, but he believes once he feels healthy, he'll get right back to where he was.
Yeah, he said repeating the arm slot. That was the big thing. That was the thing that he had trouble doing, is repeating the arm slot. And, he's not sure why. He said some years, it just takes you a little longer to get to the point where you need to be. As James Loney hits the 1-0 pitch to second. This is the Freddie Galvis show this inning. 2 ground outs and a fantastic catch on a pop-up in this inning. 1-2-3 go the Dodgers. If you didn't see it the first time, well, there you go. Another look at the show that is Freddie Galvis at second base for the Phillies. Right for the palm of your hand. Download the free CSN Sports app today. If you had that today, then you would be getting updates from Jim Salisbury, who is down in Clearwater. Jim, of course, from CSNPhilly.com. He's the only reporter that was down there watching Ryan Howard and Chase Utley during extended spring at-bats. Both look pretty good, to be honest. Chase, just watching some of the video, drove a few balls, including another home run. Here's Carlos Ruiz to lead it off here in the bottom of the second. Carlos out in front of the first pitch changeup.
Well, it's just good to see both of them involved in baseball activities right now, and go from there and see what happens.
Oh, it won the count to Ruiz. Extended spring games, I think, end at some point this week.
Well, extended spring training is almost over, as you're saying, Tom. There's not that much left, and the reason is because the draft has been completed, and then they're going to get to the point in the middle of the month where you start with you're picking your teams. Your Gulf Coast League team will be formed, and then you'll have other guys go to Williamsport,
right?
Or maybe even other places.
And some of the guys that are part of extended spring are guys that will go to Gulf Coast or to Williamsport.
Exactly. That's what they wind up doing, and then you fill in the rest with your draft usually. Not too many of them go much higher than those two levels.
2-2 the count to Ruiz. Carlos 1 for 8 in the series. Overall hitting .358 with 8 home runs, 32 runs batted in.
Well, you draft a lot of players too and get them signed because fill up those teams and try and get some of them the big leagues someday. Boy, this guy really gets you. It's got the Phillies really lunging here tonight. Off-speed stuff, change-up, curveball, and they don't run a fastball in, cut one in on their hands, and then go back outside. You can see why he's been so effective, and he has torn it up at Dodger Stadium. 5-0, a 1.36 earned run average in that big ballpark.
That ball's fouled at the plate. It remains 2-2. Toyota Major League Scoreboard. Washington is shutting out New York 3-0. Adam LaRoche has hit a 3-run home run. Phillies are 5 games back behind Washington in the National League East. The Nationals a game ahead of the Marlins, 1.5 ahead of the Mets. Those guys locked in an extra inning game last night where they didn't have anybody left, and the Nationals wound up winning it. In the air to left field. Going back on it is Abreu. He has some room. He jumps at the last moment. And there's one away. I don't know if he needed to jump, but he thought he was closer to the wall than he was.
Yeah, he didn't know where the wall was there. That ball wasn't hit real high. And he may have taken one look. It was hard to tell whether he even took one look or whether he just started to drift after it. See, I don't know that he ever turned around to find it. He felt the warning track coming and he knew he was getting close. Right there, no, he just kept going and finally just reached up and caught it. He didn't want to take his eye off it.
So 1 away. Here's Victorino. And Shane takes one at the knees. It's 0-1. Victorino 1 for 7 with a walk in the series. Better this year against left-handers than against right-handers, as you see by those bottom numbers.
They can't stay back. He's very deceptive too. You know, his windup. There's a lot going on in that delivery, and then he kind of jumps at them. And he's got enough fastball too to confuse you. That's a great pitch to throw when you're getting guys out with off-speed stuff away. You know, move their feet right there in, and then you really establish a way. I don't know whether he tried to do that, but that's really effective, or can be.
Oh, they're going to go in again. And it's just a little low and inside. 3-2. Ellis tried to frame it. Rick Honeycutt is to the left. They thought that was a good pitch.
Yeah, well, from their angle, it's not high and it's not low, but it's inside. They don't know that. He's really making Shane aware in right now. Now, what a veteran like a Capuano will do, he'll throw all that stuff in there like that. Hope the guy will open up because he's going to throw away. with a changeup, and that's why they're so off balance.
Out in front, and it remains 3-2.
All that hard stuff, and then a changeup like that. Good play by that fan out there, and you see him jump at it. You know, once through the order, you know, maybe they'll get a better idea of what Capuano's trying to do with them.
We're going to go inside again. And that one's ripped deep down the left field line. Fair foul, fair ball, home run! Solo shot for Victorino. It's his 7th of the year. The Phillies are on top 1-0.
See, that's what we're just talking about, whether or not you can afford to look inside or not. And then he goes away to get you out. He threw him soft right before that, then came back inside the way he'd been pitching in most of the at-bat, and Shane got him. That pitch is in. Just see him pull his arms in just a little bit. Bam. And that ball jumped out of the ballpark.
And Mary Lou Burita of Downingtown, you just won $200 courtesy of the McDonald's Home Run Jackpot. So that was an 8-pitch at bat that finished up with the home run by Shane. 1-0 Phillies here in the second.
Really thought they were going to go away from him sooner or later like that to get him out after establishing in so much. But they didn't, and he did a really good job of opening up and beating him there.
Wigginton scalds one deep to center field. On the run is Gwynn. He has room at the edge of the track. And there are 2 outs.
I don't think he really got his arms out there. If he had, he probably could have driven that ball into the bullpen.
Well, this is why it's important to score first. Now, the Phillies scored first a couple times on this homestand and didn't win, but they're 21-13 overall. Such an advantage for anybody to score first in the game. So it's 1-0 here in the second. Here's John Mayberry. Mayberry's done a good job at times of staying back with certain left-handers. Let's see if he can do that here. You see he's hitting .273 against lefties. His number's much better against lefties than righties. He wasn't able to do it there. It's 0-2.
He spun that thing up there. Talking about a Sandy Koufax curveball.
And 3 pitches. Mayberry's down on strikes. 3rd strikeout for Capuano. But the Phillies strike first. They do so with a solo home run by Victorino. He hooked this baby right down the left field line. The Phils take a 1-0 lead as we go to the 3rd. Phillies.com. Go to the fan section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Wills, the question is, name the last National League player to hit 30 or more home runs and steal 40 or more bases before Matt Kemp did it in 2011. The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. 1-0 Phillies, top of the 3rd. That gentleman was representing Wheels' favorite cat. We just saw in that shot.
I didn't see it. What was it?
It's Penn State.
Oh, I should have known. Thank you.
Adam Kennedy leads it off and takes low. 1 ball and no strikes.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Yeah. Fitted cap. Maybe a little stretch in the back.
Never saw one like that.
Kennedy played in game 1 of this series and was 2 for 3 with a double and a run scored. Overall, a .229 hitter with 7 runs batted in. And he takes strike 1. It's 2-1.
Kyle's doing a good job of throwing strikes here tonight. He had the one long at bat with a lot of foul balls, but other than that, he's getting ahead of hitters. Getting him out fairly quick.
A line drive over the head of Galvis into right field. So the first hit for the Dodgers.
And you knew they were going to stack their lineup with as many left-handed hitters as possible. In fact, their whole bench is right-handed.
Phillies go on the road to take on American League teams for the next 3 series. Then they return home Tuesday, June 19th to take on the Colorado Rockies. All 3 games are night games, 7:05, 7:05, and 7:05. Thursday the 21st, all fans receive the MLB Network drawstring backpack. Tickets are available now by going to Phillies.com. So nobody out, runner at first, Tony Gwynn Jr. 1 for 3 in the series. Average at .270. And he takes low. Darrell Cousins is not a low ball umpire tonight. Now, whether he is generally, I don't remember, but
if you want a sinker ball pitcher, you like him to call him down there.
It's very serious. In the air to right field. That one's drilled. Pence on the way back jumps, and it's off the scoreboard. He dropped his glove. I think he's hurt. I think he hurt his hand.
He did.
A run will score, and Gwynn pulls into 3rd.
He definitely hurt his hand.
It's a 1-1 ball game.
Something. Yeah, he's struggling right now.
Well, it's an RBI triple, but more importantly, Hunter Pence is hurt, and Scott Sheridan's heading out to check him out.
Yeah, he's trying to find the wall here and can't quite find it, and then jumps, smokes his glove hand up against the fence, and that's the one he just hurt. And now he drops the glove and runs after the baseball.
Scott's seeing what kind of pain right now Hunter's in, and whether he can bend the wrist or bend the hand at all. See if he can squeeze it. That is one tough fella too. I mean, he doesn't sit out, just doesn't.
No.
He sat out a couple weeks ago because of a sore shoulder that he injured diving for a ball. Just checking the range of motion now. I think he says he's fine. He's ready to go. Now the race is on after Shane fixes Scott's collar. The race is on with Charlie and Scott Sheridan. Placido Polanco, you see the bandage on his index finger on his glove hand, is out of tonight's ball game. Who's going to win? Wills, what do you think?
I think Scott will let Chuck win.
And the winner is Charlie Mann.
Let the manager first. That's the protocol. Here it is again. He just couldn't find the wall before he got there, and then it was hit up above his glove. Boy, that really looked serious when he did it, especially the way he was just holding his arm kind of limp running after the baseball.
Chris Capuano hits one foul toward the second deck. It's no balls and 1 strike.
See, this hurt right here when he went to throw it. He knew he had hurt that hand. Now, you know, we'll just see. It looked like he was holding the wrist area too. These left-handed hitters, this is the thing that Kyle Kendrick will struggle with sometimes, and they're hurting him a little bit in this inning.
Infield's in. Capuano takes a curve for a strike, and it's 0-2. That was a slider, but boy, it had curveball speed, didn't he? He doesn't throw a curve.
Yeah. I don't know, when you're down there behind the plate, you know, whether there's different spin involved. You know, a curveball will have a much different spin than a slider, but well, I shouldn't say much, but it's an obvious spin when you're close to the ball. But it look like he just took a lot off, and he's been doing more and more of that lately.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to Capuano. Ground ball, right side. Oh, right past the glove of Mayberry and Galvis. I should say right off the glove of Mayberry and past Galvis. A run scores. It'll be an E3 and no RBI, and it's 2-1 Dodgers.
Whether he took a peek to see if the runner was trying to score.
He's usually pretty sure-handed over there.
They're not going anywhere right there with nobody out. They're not going to try and score. See if he takes a peek or not, because that's a ground ball right at him.
I think he looked up, but I don't think he got to where he needed to be to field that cleanly.
No, did not do a good job with it.
So an error charged to Mayberry. Runner at first. It's 2-1 Dodgers. D. Gordon's the hitter, and he takes strike. Gordon fly to left his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Check swing. They appeal. Yes, he went around, says Jim Wolf. I thought Jim Wolf did a really good job last night behind the plate. I know that there's been a lot of talk about umpires and strike zones and stuff like that, but I thought he did a good job last night behind the plate.
I don't think we mentioned him much. That's always a good sign.
0-2 pitch outside, 1-2. And I say that because obviously DJ Rayburn in game 1 was under fire from the start of the game till the end of the game for his strike zone. Still nobody out. Runner at first. 2 runs have scored for the Dodgers. D. Gordon thought that was ball 4, but it's 3-2. Still thinks it's ball 4. Did they say it hit him? Boy, I didn't think it hit him. They're saying that it hit him. Rich Doobie's going to come out and talk to Kyle Kendrick. You think it hit him?
Well, if it does, it just brushes his uniform. Oh, it got his elbow a little bit. See, the way he catches it. Well, listen here.
Honestly, I still didn't hear it. Well, it's a hit batter. There are runners on first and second.
We're just talking about how Kendrick been getting ahead of hitters, doing a good job with all these left-handed hitters. Now 4 straight have gotten on base, although 1 shouldn't have.
But now the Phillies need some outs with 2 on and the number 2 hitter coming up. Ground ball double play would be huge in this spot.
They're talking, you know, they're going over bunt play just in case, but with a pitcher at second and Force at third, and the way this guy's been swinging the bat, I don't think they're going to bunt here.
Well, the corners will play in just in case.
Yeah, they have to be aware of it just in case. Yep.
He squares, takes outside. It's 1-0. Capuano was way off second.
Yeah, it could be a deke or not. Tim Wallach's going to go through the signs again after he takes a look at his manager, Don Mattingly.
Herrera bunts toward third, a foul ball. Herrera walked his first time up and then was caught stealing. The gentleman with the glasses is Trey Hillman. He's the bench coach. Behind him is Don Mattingly, who is giving the signs to Tim Wallach. Trey Hillman and Mattingly knew each other from the Yankee organization.
That's Trey right there.
Trey was a longtime, very successful manager in the Yankee farm system before he managed the Royals. And it's 1-2.
That was a very, very poor effort at sacrificing there, if that's what they want him to do, and they did. You know, he did not give himself up. It was almost like he's bunting for a base hit. Now you hope he doesn't get a hit since they got him down the count. This guy seems to have done everything right since he's been here too.
He almost hit Bobby Abreu. Bobby had a duck out of the way of that one. Everything's always casual with Bobby.
That's a great way to put it with Bobby. Nothing much bothers him.
Two and two the count. Gordon's at first. Capuano's at second. Kendrick, a little bit of a jam here in the third. He's already allowed 2 runs. Chopper right side. Galvis charges, only one play. That's to first. So he didn't get the sacrifice down, but he essentially moved both runners up with a little chopper to second. One away, and Bobby Abreu will be the hitter. Bobby struck out looking his first time up.
I'll play the infield back here and give up 1 run on a ground out.
And they better throw that ball over to first quickly, because you never know if the guy at second goes all the way home on any kind of ground ball that's hit softly. Abreu takes it side. That's a cutter, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. The pitches already for Kyle.
Yeah, they've been pretty good up until this inning, and now it's been a struggle.
They throw behind. Capuano and Wigginton, if he held out of the ball, may have had him.
Good shot.
They may have had him.
Try to put a quick tag on him and didn't catch it cleanly. Pitcher getting a little frisky down there at third. It's a great job by Carlos Ruiz, the left-handed hitter. He's got a clear shot.
Yeah, it would have been close.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell whether Capuano's hand was on the bag as Wigginton slapped him with his glove. Good changeup. 2-1 the count. It's been a big pitch for him against lefties. Well, there was a good one right there.
He's going to need it tonight with this lineup. One right-handed hitter. Well, he made him look bad on 2 of them.
Two and 2 the count to Abreu. There, 3-2.
Well, they went change up, change up, change up as Ethier waits on deck, and he didn't bite on that one. base open, but it's not like you want to necessarily walk Bobby Abreu to get to Andre Ethier. So we'll see if he challenges him here or goes changeup again.
Well, this is the 4th full count of the night for Abreu. And ball 4. Bases are now loaded. And that'll bring Andre Ethier to the plate. This is a 28 pitch inning. Over at third is Capuano, the pitcher. At second base is D. Gordon. And around at first now is Bobby Abreu.
Ethier's grounded into 5 double plays this year. Their team leader's Loney was 7.
Well, Kyle Kenner could use one right here. Bullpen starting to stir. Raul Valdez has grabbed his glove. First pitch is inside. It's 1-0.
Well, you know they like to bring a left-hander into this game if Kendrick leaves with all these left-handed hitters. So first guy up is a left-hander.
Has he just lost his sharpness, or is he nibbling? What do you think, Willis?
I think it's a combination. Being real careful.
It wasn't a bad pitch there. It wound up being a foul ball off Ruiz. It's 1-1.
Well, Kyle's one of those guys. He's a contact pitcher for the most part. Every once in a while he'll have a strikeout game, but he's a contact pitcher, and he needs his players to make plays for him. And the pitcher gets on with an error off John Mayberry's glove, and that's really going to, well, we haven't seen what it's going to do in this inning. It's hurt the inning already. It could make it really, really bad.
1 ball, 1 strike the count. Runners lead off. A little high, 2-1.
Ethier's a little scary getting up in the count.
Pretty good numbers with the bases loaded. Not as far as grand slams are concerned, but overall average. Wasn't a bad pitch, but it's 3-1. Guess it was a little high.
That's what he called it.
Going to have to challenge him here with the count 3-1. And the pitch from Kenner in the air to left field. Pierre is there. Capuano's tagging. Pierre is under it. The throw, and no advancement by Capuano.
And they didn't want to run a pitcher into contact.
Would have been a close play too.
Well, they knew it was going to have to be cut off, because Pierre's not going to be able to throw the ball all the way home. So that would have been cut off. It would have taken 2 throws to get him, but they still didn't want to run the pitcher into it. You see it's dying right here. Well, watch what happens. That ball has to be cut off, obviously, because it's way up the line like that. And you know that as a third base coach when Pierre throws the ball. So if it hadn't been for the pitcher, they would have sent most players, I would think.
So 2 away, bases loaded. A.J. Ellis, the only righty, is the batter. He takes a cutter for a strike. It's 0-1. Kyle could see his way through this.
The one right-handed hitter in the lineup.
Trying to battle his way through this third. He's given up 2 already. He should be out of it. Good pitch. Another cutter. A little different start to that one. He started it closer toward the outside part of the plate. And it's 0-2.
Long inning. One pitch could feel a lot better.
Now the 0-2 pitch coming. They went farther away with a fastball that time. It just missed 1-2.
Yeah, it's a good 2-strike pitch. Definitely was outside, but close enough that he might chase it.
Oh, no, Ruiz didn't hang on. I thought he had it and he was getting up, but he had dropped it. It remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Carlos Ruiz upset there because, you know.
He had it.
Yeah, what are you going to do? You know, you can't practice these things. It's a foul tip, goes off the top of the glove.
Off the inside of his thigh.
Yeah, it was tough to hold on to. But, you know, they really wanted to help his pitcher out there and get him out of the inning.
Ground ball toward third. Nice play by Wigginton. Galvis is at second. The side is retired. So Kendrick minimizes the damage. It's a 39 pitch inning, but he allowed just the 2 runs. It could have been a whole lot worse. We go to the bottom of the third. Phil's down by 1. Must be 18 years or older to play. Please play responsibly. And buy Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. Phillies trail it by 1, 2-1. Beautiful skyline tonight here in Philadelphia. It's turned out to be a pretty pleasant day. Well, any day without rain, which is what we've had a lot of, is a pleasant day. Phillies jumped out to a 1-0 lead on a home run by Kyle Kendrick, but the Dodgers just scored 2 runs at the top of the third. We have a moment, so let's bring in Greg Murphy with his Major League Notebook. Murph?
All right, thank you very much, T-Mac. Brought to you, of course, by Gwen Mercy College. The New York Mets making some roster moves today. They activated Jason Bay and Pedro Beato from the disabled list to make room for them. They placed Chris Young on the paternity list, and they designated Josh Satin for assignment. And guys, Josh Hamilton, who is the Major League leader in home runs with 21, has decided that he will not participate in the home run derby during the All-Star game this year. You remember back in 2008 he hit 28 home runs in the first round, but he says not going to participate this time around.
I guess he felt like he was too tuckered out after the home run derby the last time. It was an amazing show that he put on.
It really was, and he hasn't actually participated since 2008. No. So, you know, it's not something new, but he says he's not going to do it this year as well.
Freddie Galvis is the batter. Did you remember to pick up Wheels' dry cleaning, Murph?
Yeah, is that on my list of things to do?
On your list of, that's on your Major League Notebook.
Sorry, Wheels, I will get on that, I promise.
Very
a long
sorry.
road trip coming up, guys. I mean, we need every bit of clothing we can possibly get.
I know you're the new guy, but we won't do that to you.
I'm surprised Sarge hasn't asked him to do it yet.
Oh, I get Sarges all the time.
0-2 to Galvis is outside. It's 1-2.
Ask the clubhouse guys. He's a big tipper.
Galvis is a .228 hitter with 3 home runs and 24 runs batted in. The 1-2 pitch out in front and 1 away. 4 strikeouts for Capuano.
Well, he just used that changeup at will. These right-handed hitters. For some reason he wanted to keep pitching Shane Victorino in, and Vic got him. But this changeup to these right-handed hitters, I mean, they just do not see it out of his hand, and they're about 2 days in front of it.
Kendrick takes at the knees. It's 0-1. Capuano last year we mentioned was 11-12 with the Mets, an earned run average of 4.55 in 33 games. He has said that because of the Tommy John surgery he felt good last year, but he didn't feel great. He still felt some fatigue from time to time. Now this year, you know, he's a couple of years removed from the second Tommy John surgery, so he's feeling even healthier. And he just picked up another strikeout. That's his 5th of the night. So 2 outs. The Atlanta Braves have not been to Citizens Bank Park yet.
Hard to believe.
No, their first visit will be Friday, July 6th at 7:05. 2 night games and then a day game on Sunday, of course, the 1:35 start. Make plans now for great summer baseball. Tickets are available by going to Phillies.com. Braves are up 2-0 over the Marlins. That game's in the top of the 4th. Brian McCann is 2 for 2. You want to talk about a streaky team.
Yeah.
The Atlanta Braves have been a streaky team.
Well, they put it to the fish last night.
0-1 to Rollins is up high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
11-0. Dan Uggla hit a monster home run.
2 homers.
He hit 2 homers and 1 was an all-timer. Really long.
Rollins hits one in the air deep to left field. Bobby Abreu is back. He's got some room. Well, the Phils are coming close on a couple. They've gotten 1 so far. But Capuano is just keeping it inside enough that they're not able to extend their arms. We've played 3. Dodgers up by 1 as we go to the 4th. Or fading from who? But W.B. Mason. On a very comfortable night here at the ballpark in between innings. Sarge, that's Wilmer Harbison, 91 years old, and he was helping the grounds crew change the bases. This is the anniversary of D-Day.
Wow.
And he was part of the 97th Bombardier unit that was part of D-Day. 91 years old. He's a World War II veteran. And he looks great.
Looks just terrific. Always appreciative of any of the guys that have been in the service.
The D-Day invasion of Normandy, France, June 6th, 1944. James Loney starts it off here in the 4th. Loney grounded out his first time up. Phillies down by 1, 2-1. And the 0-1 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Kyle needs to settle in here. His pitch count is up to 68. His last few starts, I don't know if you agree with this or not, Sarge, he has been so aggressive, I think, in the strike zone. Tonight, he hasn't thrown a lot of first pitch strikes. In fact, 39 strikes, 30 balls overall. And I think that's when, well, any pitcher is successful, but even more importantly for him.
Well, you're right. He needs to be able to stay ahead of the hitters, and if he can, that's when he throws that changeup. Actually escaped this last inning. He made some pretty good pitches, and some of the hitters actually helped him out. But for the most part there for Kyle Kendrick, he does need to start to throw strikes in and out, but just quality strikes, get ahead, and if he can do that, he can make them swing at his pitch.
Loney lifts it to left. That's playable for Pierre. That was kind of his pitch right there.
Yeah, breaking ball in on the hands there of Loney, trying to get his hands extended. But that's what it's all about, though, for Kyle, to be able to get ahead. Then he can mix in some of the off-speed pitches.
Yeah, I thought, obviously the game against the Cardinals was the best game we've seen him pitch. And we've seen him pitch a lot of good games, but it was a complete game shutout, obviously. The last game, though, he had to endure rain delay and still came back, I thought, with relative sharpness and was able to get the victory.
Well, you can always tell, too, by him because, he's not getting those fly balls. He's getting ground balls. As you can see, Juan Pierre catching that fly ball. He wants ground balls to be effective, not fly balls, period.
Well, 2 outs now in the 4th, and this helps. And he's been aggressive, at least for the first 2 hitters, in the strike zone.
Well, he has to be. Well, you don't want to go to deep counts. Don't want to go where you're predictable and you go ball 1, ball 2. He's not that type of pitcher that can survive doing that.
This is the guy that hurt him in the last inning with an RBI triple and then scored on an error by John Mayberry. When shows bunt, takes a strike. It's 0-1.
It's one of those players usually takes a pitch the first time up.
Takes 2.
See those distributions of the outs there. You want it almost the opposite, where you got more ground balls than the fly balls. But that tells me then he's kind of getting that ball up a little bit, where he wants to more or less have sinking action on the ball, where most of those hitters are on top of it, hitting the ground ball.
And a called strike 3. Oh, this is a heck of an inning for Kyle. What a comeback after a troublesome 3rd inning when he threw 39 pitches. This one a lot easier, a lot quicker as we go to the bottom of the 4th. It'll guide you to the loan that's right for you. By Nissan's National 10 event. For a limited time, get bonus cash on Altima and Rogue. Visit ChooseNissan.com or your local dealer. And by WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. Phillies down by 1. Kyle Kendrick had a very easy top of the 4th inning, and that's good.
Yeah,
He
well,
needed
a lot more aggressive with his pitches and around the strike zone. You want to make sure that when you're throwing a pitch, each pitch is setting up the next one. That's why you don't want to throw one way up high or too low, because it does nothing for that at bat and setting up any of your pitches. Got to be around the plate.
Pierre leads it off. He's grounded back to the box one time. He's 0 for 1. Won the count.
That's pretty good, letting Juan get a chance to play against some of the left-handers. Usually it's the guys that doesn't throw as hard.
Softly hit to second. Adam Kennedy. 1 out. Only hit for the Phillies, the home run by Victorino. That's it.
Yeah. Need to get some more hits, see whether or not this wrist is going to be okay for Hunter. Usually when that happens, pitchers want to try and throw that ball inside to you. Just to test it, see whether or not he can maybe pull the ball inside.
That's how he was able to get him off balance the last time, was everything was through the outer edge of the plate.
See that thing right there where his hand actually came off of the bat? Well, this is the type of pitcher you want to try and maybe shorten up. Think about hitting the ball up the middle and the other way. Think about pulling this guy. I mean, pulling him almost has to be an accident. Victorino actually clearing his hips and driving a ball out of the ballpark.
He saw that change up high and thought, I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
Right. Well, every now and then he will. He does get it, but just doesn't pay off. And you want him as a hitter. Looks like he's getting ready to get that other changeup.
Out in front, shallow right center field. Adam Kennedy says he's got it. There are 2 outs. Monday, June 25th is the first of 2 fireworks shows here at the ballpark. And it's the series where the Pittsburgh Pirates come to town. It's the last time the Phillies have faced the Pirates here in 2012. Get your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. All 4 games, there are seats available, including for Monday and Tuesday, the 25th and the 26th. Pirates are 2 games over 500. They're 2 back in the Central.
Unbelievable. Another good story. You know what happened last year? They went into a losing spell there.
They had a 500 record at the All-Star break. Their 1 game against the Braves, where they had the controversial call at the plate, seemed to change their fate. And they finished under 500. Now they're locked in a division battle with the Reds and the Cardinals. Cardinals have suddenly just cooled off.
Yeah.
Ice cold. And the Reds lead the division.
Type of pitcher you shouldn't mind having 2 strikes on you. Want to really take a good look at him, and I say that because usually he's the type of pitcher that doesn't throw the ball by you, even though he has 5 strikeouts. Too hard of a swing. You know, do those pitchers a favor. Guys like Capuano, who relies on his off-speed pitches. When you try and swing too hard, you're doing him a favor. Usually you're not going to be able to see the ball as clearly as you would like.
2-2 the count. And that ball's ripped down the left field line. Will it stay fair? And it's a foul ball. I'll be honest with you, if I'm the Dodgers, I don't try to go inside at all. I mean, I know you have to just to set up the outside pitches.
Yeah. When he comes in, though, he can come in off the plate. His problem is when he finds part of the plate, you know, the ball is hit hard. That's why I think for me as a hitter, or used to hit, you want to get up on top of the plate, almost force him to throw that ball inside. And what you're doing, you're taking away the outside part of the plate, and that's his bread and butter.
2-2 the count to Ruiz. And again, he rips one. This time it's fair. And Carlos is aboard with 2 outs. That'll bring Victorino to the plate. And he is our Coors Light cold hard blast.
Inside fastball. You can see how he just cleared his hips on that. And I'm telling you, when he does that, he's a good hitter. Put down. There's your Coors Cold Hard Blast.
Brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. So 2 hits now for the Phillies, 2 hits for the Dodgers. Phillies down by 1. Ruiz off first. And the first pitch low. It's 1-0. The home run by Victorino, and each one hit by the Phils this season. 1 tree will be planted by the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society as part of Home Runs for Trees, a partnership between the Phillies, PHS, and Aramark. Home Run for Trees is part of Plant 1 Million, a project to restore the region's tree coverage. For more information, visit phillies.com/red goes green. A little bit of a breeze now. It's going out. Hasn't been that way the last few days. It's been coming in.
Yep. And hitters prefer the ball going out, obviously.
I mean the wind going out.
Wind blowing out. And balls going out.
I guess they go hand in hand if you do it right.
Capuano, one of those tough pitchers to try and pick up and steal on.
Out in front, James Loney will give way to D. Gordon. So the Phillies do get a base runner with 2 outs, but they leave that runner over at first. 4 in the books here in Philadelphia, and the Phillies down by 1. Fifth inning here at Citizens Bank Park, and it's our pleasure to welcome in the third base coach for the Philadelphia Phillies, Juan Samuel, who joins us down in the dugout. Sammy, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing up there?
Great.
Sarge seems to be doing very well, Sammy. He's very excited to have you on. So
good, same here.
You know, I wanted to ask you really real quick there about Galvis. I mean, he's second in the league here so far in that fielding. I mean, are you surprised at all, though, even after working with him in spring training that he's able to have this much baseball IQ defensively?
Not at all. You know, the people at the play development told us that he's baseball savvy. He's very smart for his age, and he's showing it every day up here. The kid seems to do something outstanding every game and saving some runs for us, so I'm not surprised at all.
Now, that catch he made earlier in the game, that wasn't an easy catch.
It's not an easy catch going back. I didn't think he had a shot at it, but, you know, he's young. He got those fresh legs. You know,
well, here's the play, Semi. We're showing it right now, and he had to cover a lot of ground in order to get out there, and he had to twist his body at the last minute to pull it in.
It's no doubt he's very athletic out there.
Well, there's one away as Capuano's down on strikes. Back to the top of the order for D. Gordon as Kyle Kenner continues to settle in. All right, I know, Sammy, there's been a lot of talk about the offense and the struggles for the last handful of games for this entire season. What do you see out there? I mean, you're over there watching from third base. What do you see out there each night?
Well, where I see, for example, of this guy here, we seem to be coming off the ball a lot. And his off-speed, his bread and butter is going to be his off-speed pitch. So for some reason, we're swinging at his changeup like it's somebody that's throwing 96, 97 mile an hour. He can't throw a fastball by you. So against guys like this, to me, we need to set our side up the middle the other way so we won't come off the ball.
How about moving a little closer to the plate, maybe, or moving up a little there?
That does. You got to get creative, Sarge. As you know, as a hitter, you know, you got to try to get the advantage, and whatever it takes, you have to do.
Well, here is Elian Herrera. And Juan, you've been around for a while. I mean, the team's obviously going through a tough stretch right now, and I guess it's so important to keep turning the page from night to night. Not make the same mistakes, but turn the page, because there still is a lot of season left to be played.
There's no doubt. You know, it has not been any carryover. You know, these guys show up every day. They are professional, you know, hoping that this will be the day. And as we all know, you know, it could take one of those crazy games where a lot of breaks come your way before you know, here we go.
When the Phillies do get Utley and Howard back, what do you think that does for the lineup? How does it change it?
Yeah, help. As a manager, if you got your middle of the lineup set up, a guy that you could pencil in every day, and the work around that is a lot easier. Lead-off guy, middle of your lineup, then you work the other guys in there. When you need to give guys a break, you have somebody else that could step in and do the job. But that middle of your lineup is so important as a manager. It makes it easy for you.
There's strike one to Herrera. It's 3-1.
Well, having Jim Thome back there and kind of giving you a little bit of report on the guys down there, more importantly, with him being healthy and excited, that's going to have to give you a little bit of a lift, especially playing the American League club.
It does. Having a professional hitter like Jim Thome, like you said, coming up with interleague play where he's going to see some action, is definitely a boost in the lineup.
All right, Sammy, we've been talking about the play last night where Juan Pierre went back to the wall, and he was beating himself up pretty good after the game because he felt like he should have made the play. I mean, you were a second baseman who made the transition to outfield. You work with the outfielders. How tough a play was that last night?
Well, you know, Juan is a professional, and Juan does not make excuses, but that was not an easy play for somebody like Juan. He had to go back. And he jumped up, and he thought he could have a shot at that ball, but it was not an easy play for him.
Bobby Abreu's the batter, and there's a runner at first base with 2 outs, and the throw over chases Herrera back. Well, we're going to show the play right now, and I thought just getting back to the spot was difficult in its own right, and the ball just looked like it went past his glove, and again, it's not an easy play.
Yes, it looked like he got there at the same time as the ball. Where you want to go there is get back as quick as possible and find that wall and operate from there. It looked like he got there at the same time. Yeah,
that's actually a real good point, because once he jumped up, that ball just eluded him from the side. He was up high enough, but it was just a judgment of it. And like you said, Juan's not going to make any excuses. One of the few players that prepares on a daily basis as if he's going to be in the lineup, and those are the guys too, though, Sammy, you really like having on your team.
Of course, you know, you love to see guys like that. You don't think it was a whole lot of guys like that left, but Juan is one of those old school guys that comes out early, work at his craft every day, and in spring training we saw it. He's a true professional.
So 1 ball, 1 strike to Bobby Abreu. All right, Sammy, we appreciate your time as always, buddy, and we'll catch up with you again.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Already.
Juan Samuel, who is one of the best guys that you'll ever come across in this game. to be able to talk the game with, and I thought as a player, just to watch as a fan, it was just an exception.
A lot of speed that he had, and line drive hitter.
Another strike. It's 1-2. Abreu's walked. He's also struck out looking.
He's always taking a lot of pitches. See that on base percentage at .405. You can tell the player's getting older, and usually when you're a little bit heavier in the stomach, very difficult to get around on the inside pitches. But he's been slow on a lot of fastballs for me. And a lot of times scouts will look right at that. When they're judging him, they'll talk about that. Not able to catch up to the fastball. Slider bat speed, which means a little slower pitch than the fastball. Easier to catch up to it. And I think for me, that's where Abreu is in his career.
How long could he hang on, you think?
Well, it just depends on, you look at the way the whole league is going and guys not hitting, he'll be able to get a job most likely on reputation alone, where they're not expecting for him to tear it up in spring training. They're expecting for him to do some damage during the course of the season.
Yeah, I guess Jim Thome's kind of in the same boat, except for the fact that he's not going to play first base anymore. But he still has pop to be able to help a team off the bench. Good pitch by Kendrick. Gets Abreu looking for the second time tonight. No runs, no hits. One man left. Kyle is settled in. Now the Phillies offense needs to when we return. State of the Phils and the Eagles organized team activities. Watch the best talk of Phillies sports on Daily News Live tomorrow at 5 only on Comcast Sportsnet. Home half of the fifth inning. Not a whole lot of offense for either team so far. Ty Wigginton, John Mayberry, Freddie Galvis to lead it off. Wigginton flied out to center his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. 2 for 8 so far in the series. And it's 1 ball and no strikes to him.
You know, Ty seems to be one of those players that he's almost red hot or almost not hitting. You know, no in between sort of. It was awful hot when we were playing in New York.
And looks like he might be hot there. That ball is hit pretty well. Deep to left field. It is gone! Right on cue, Ty Wigginton begins a hot streak. His 6th home run of the year. The Phillies have tied it up at 2 apiece.
Now, when you talk about back-legging a ball, this is exactly what Ty Wigginton did. He back-legged that ball out to left center line drive. No doubt about it. When he's getting ready to hit it. Now, take a look at it as he gets in back of it. Line drive hit There it goes, and it is gone. Fight Fields get another one right there. You can tell the sound. When you hear that sound, it's usually trouble.
Oh, with a capital T. And now John Mayberry with the game tied at 2. Mayberry struck out his first time up.
Seems nobody happier in the dugout than Jim Thome as he has all smiles.
I saw that before when Victorino hit his home run. Now, that was part of the thought of bringing him back, is the infectious attitude, the high energy personality. Maybe there is something to it.
Well, I know one thing, you can't teach it. That's just something that you just have to have.
No balls, 1 strike to count to Mayberry. 1-1 the count.
He's kind of changed his batting stance again. Doing a little bit of that tapping, tiptoeing, if you will, to try and get his rhythm.
Slowly hit. Gordon charges. Gordon's so quick, but he's able to get to the ball, and then as he's falling to the ground, throws Mayberry out.
Quick with a good arm. A lot better at that ball for him coming in as opposed to going to his left.
So 1 out, and now Freddie Galvis the batter. Galvis struck out his last time up. Talked to Davey Lopes a little bit today about Freddie Galvis, and because Davey saw Freddie when he was even younger, when the Phillies invited him to spring training. Davey was one of the instructors for the Phillies. That ball is hit deep down the left field line. If it stays fair, it's gone. It is a foul ball.
Oh boy. Jumped on a curveball. He's getting better with his hitting. Foot down, and he started to really find it. That ball just, you see how he's trying to lean and keep that ball fair? To no avail there. But again, I like just the way his attitude is at hitting. And he's learning daily, not getting him out on the same pitches every single night.
Well, that kind of swing that you just saw, and the one he had the first game of the series, that line drive to right against Kershaw.
Oh, yeah.
That's where Davey Lopes said he has seen the biggest difference with Freddie Galvis.
Well, you're right about that, too. And again, not having seen him, and a lot of times you'll let your offense go to the defense or vice versa. It hasn't been this way with Freddie at all, and consequently, he can concentrate a lot more on his hitting.
That's the kind of ball that he hit against Kershaw the other night, who you just saw. That turned out to be a base hit. The thing that Davey said, too, he said he hasn't watched him that much at second base, but what he has seen is that he looks fluid. He wonders how much better his range will become as he gets older, and how much stronger he will be as he gets older.
Well, he's going to get a lot stronger. He's going to get smarter. You can already tell where the way he positions himself on different hitters, and that's all a part of it, knowing where to be able to play each and every one of these hitters.
A little cue shot. That's a fair ball right now, and it kicks fouls and hits the lip of the grass. Is he all right? I don't know if he's all right.
Breathing a little bit hard, could have come maybe on the swing and maybe on when running.
Holding his back. I don't think he's all right. Scott Sheridan has already been out to talk to Hunter Pence tonight.
Well, one of the things, though, the guys are pretty good, and you can see how he's just banging the backside, trying to get it loose. There's the swing that I'm talking about. Let's see if he's slow. He slowed down a little bit in running, so he must have felt it then, either after the swing. Still a little bit gingerly.
Scott Sheridan's going to come out to talk to him.
Good.
I don't think he's okay. I mean, he's walking away now.
Well, he talked with Matt Kemp about his injury a little bit. And I asked him whether or not he thought maybe he came back too soon. And he said that he felt he came back in the right amount of time. had his, again, when you're out there and you're coming back, you're not in baseball shape. So he was saying that, yeah, he's been running, but that adrenaline kicked in, and that's when he gave it a little extra step. That's when he re-pulled the hammy.
Well, he seemed to be in pretty good spirits today when you were talking to him.
Oh, he's in great spirits. I mean, he's supposedly going to be in the home run contest. He got picked to be one of the captains from Major League Baseball, American League. Robinson Cano. Interesting, though, already Matt Kemp has picked one of his teammates.
Who's that?
Andre Ethier. And Cano, for sure, will be picking Curtis Granderson.
There's Andre Ethier. So we know 2 Dodgers and 2 Yankees will be part of the home run derby roster.
Could tell a little different swing right there on that swing. You know, and some of the other guys too, though, Tom, that he'll be picking from: Stanton, David Wright, Ugla. Those are some pretty tough choices, along with Carlos Gonzalez there. With
I would take
Denver.
Stanton. I'd take Stanton
In a heartbeat over Ugla too, huh?
Oh yeah. If anything for the show, Freddie Galvis can't
hurt.
continue. He's not going to be able to play here.
You could tell by the swing on that first one and the second one, and he's smart enough, hopefully right now, to let him know, hey, just can't make it. Freddie usually swings a lot harder than that. I thought that the very first particular swing, don't know exactly what he has hurt. We'll get a report on that, but you can tell he's a little bit irritated. And why not? He's been a good player and playing very well. Now see, there's a swing there. He knew it. He just said, hey, I got enough. No mas.
Anybody that's had any kind of back problems, we're just assuming that's what it is. I mean, it's, yeah, right there is where the small of the back. So Mike Fontenot, I would assume, is going to be the guy. The Phillies have said that Placido Polanco is not going to be available for tonight's ball game. I would assume Fontenot is going to play second base.
Well, there's definitely a look of concern right there on Charlie. Like, what else can happen? That's why you feel so fortunate as a club when you can go through a season and you don't have a lot of your main guys that are hurt. And every team usually does go through someone being hurt or a few guys during the course of the year.
So Fontenot will inherit a 3-ball, 2-strike count.
I just hope he gets himself a fastball. No fair throwing a breaking ball right now.
Fontenot, a 375 hitter with no homers, 2 runs batted in.
Dude, when he plays, he gets you pretty good at bat. Always swing a lot of bad pitches and works the count.
And there's ball 4. Nice job by Fontenot. He had an idea of the strike zone, didn't he?
I mean, he does. I mean, when you look at him, you see what he's hitting there. But besides that, and when you're analyzing him, he makes the pitcher work. Not one of those guys can hit that ball out of the ballpark consistently, but he gives you line drives.
Well, 75 pitches so far, with 1 out here in the 5th for Capuano.
I don't know how many guys would have actually been taking that 3-2 pitch. But good job.
Kendrick is up there to try to sacrifice with 1 out. And he bunts foul. What do you think of this new stance for Kendrick, Sarge? Hands are a little lower. We talked about it the other day. You think it's working?
Well, I mean, we'll see if it's working or not. I know Pete Buchanan works with these guys on, you know, the bunting and the hitting, but I'd like that with a bat. Definitely is above the ball. If it's higher than that, you don't want to swing. I mean, try and bunt the ball, and you don't want to jab at the ball. to get it down right to the first baseman if you can.
He pulled the bat back as there was as contact was nearing. And now it's 1-2.
See whether or not Charlie takes it off or lets him swing. For me, I want my runner over there to second base, so I'm going to try and have him butt again. See how Charlie plays it. Sammy relaying the signs. Yes, the pitchers do have to know the signs.
And he bunts it. It's a fair ball. The play will be to first. So the sacrifice is successful. 5-4 on the putout. And they're 2 away for Jimmy Rollins. Go-ahead run is at second base.
No, that's what you want. Putting more pressure on the pitcher. It's always a great job when your pitcher can advance the runner. Well, that just shows you another part of the job that he's actually doing. And that is a part of it, besides being able to just pitch.
Now, Rick Honeycutt's going out to the mound. We can assume that he's coming out just to check Capuano. Or he's probably telling him, hey, listen, Juan Pierre's on deck. He's a left-handed hitter. Why don't you just be really careful with Jimmy Rollins?
Yeah,
First base is open.
You're right about that. And usually they'll ask him, what do you want to do? You want to walk him on 4, or do you think you can pitch to him carefully and let him hit your pitch with the lefty hitting behind him and Juan Pierre?
Darryl Cousins, the home plate umpire, coming out to break up the conversation.
Well, this is definitely not any kind of stall tactics, because no one is throwing in the Dodger bullpen. Wow. Got to pick that up.
Well, his swing has gotten better these last few games. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely, I would. Definitely. But again, it's more consistent. So much the hits, just consistently having that same type of bat, being able to go through that zone with your bat.
Runner at second, 2 outs. Rollins the hitter. Inside, 1-0.
See Capuano shaking his head a little like, man, I kind of wanted that pitch.
Well, he has been around the zone with his first pitch the whole night. 1-0 the count. 1 ball, 1 strike the count.
Brings it down just a little bit. And again, usually you can wait on guys like this, because normally they're not able to throw the fastball by you. They can trick you. He's done that quite a bit tonight.
In the dirt. 2-2 the count.
Boy, this Capuano's having a big year. Okay, 7-2.
Oh, he's been a breath of fresh air for Don Mattingly. He's had to kind of piece this rotation together, along with Kershaw and Billingsley. The 2-2 pitch to Rollins. In the air to left field. Bobby Abreu going back toward the warning track, to the wall, and it's gone! 2-run home run for Jimmy Rollins. Second home run of the inning for the Phillies, and they retake the lead. It's 4-2 here at the bottom of the 5th inning.
Oh, boy. That's what I'm talking about right there. Now, again, J-Ro's on top of the plate. Coming inside is just, don't understand why unless he comes in off the plate, but take a look at it. It's got to be middle in, and he just yanks it as it's getting ready to go out of the ballpark. He acted as if he knew it was going himself. Abreu not sure about that. Fighting Phil's on top 4-2.
So 3 homers in the game for the Phillies, 2 of this inning. Here's Pierre. He's 0 for 2. Shows bunt. I guess he told Rick Honeycutt, no, I want to get him. Because first base was open. And Rollins could have easily been worked around for Pierre, who's 0 for 2 with 2 tricklers. His time's up.
I think Capuano wanted that pitch down a little bit more, and he been away. And again, J-Ro just about on top of the plate.
The 0-2 pitch to Pierre. On the way, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, he's got a 28 pitch inning at least coming with this 1-2 pitch to Juan Pierre. So the Phillies have the lead here in the 5th inning.
And all of these become really big ball games. Try and split the series here with the Dodgers now, if you can, and get some momentum going on the road
into the American League.
That's right.
Because you're not facing an easy American League team this weekend or the following weekend. Now, the Minnesota Twins are in last place in the American League Central, but that's still at their place.
Exactly. And that's what you're looking at. They're familiar with their particular ballpark. It is a new ballpark. Looking forward to going there to see that one. You know, Baltimore, they're going to be playing pretty good baseball. At least they have.
Although Minnesota's 9-17 at their home Target Field.
Well, we'll see what happens there, because it should be fun using that DH. Pitchers can kind of relax now and don't have to see them swing for a while.
Back toward the middle. Nice play by Capuano. Pierre threw the bat at the ball. Side is retired, but the Phillies make it a good one. A solo home run by Ty Wigginton. That began the inning. And then a few batters later, Jimmy Rollins came through with his 3rd home run of the year. That's Wigginton's shot to left center. Rollins then got a pitch inside, and he took care of it. Phillies will take a 4-2 lead into the top of the 6th inning here at Citizens Bank Park. So good if you need him in a pinch. Carlos has delivered at the plate for the Phillies in so many ways this season. The best hitting catcher in the National League added to his 2012 resume even when he wasn't in the starting lineup. You can try and run him over, but nothing should keep Chooch from his first All-Star appearance. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Now more than ever, we're here for you every step of the way. Well, Mike Fontenot, who walked after he replaced Freddie Galvis, is on to play second base. As we head to the 6th inning, it'll be Andre Ethier, A.J. Ellis, and James Loney. 4, 5, and 6 for the Dodgers. Kendrick has the lead. Throws a slider outside. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, he needs it. Shut down inning right now. Keep that momentum there. Get back in there. You got to have it.
When the Phillies gave him the lead in the 3rd, that's when he started to tinker a little bit, nibble. As Todd Coffey warms in the bullpen. And he wound up allowing 2 runs. Kendrick did in that inning. 2-0 pitch. That ball is rocketed foul.
Boy. Well, you can kind of see what kind of club they have when they do have a Matt Kemp in their lineup. Hit 39 home runs last year, driving in over 100. It's like not having Ryan Howard in your lineup. Kind of the same thing.
I think if you look at their lineup, it's piecemealed right now. But they still have the best record in baseball. They miss Kemp, who's got the hood on there, who's wearing the most colorful shoes I think I've ever seen a baseball player wear.
Yeah, they were lime green, weren't they?
They were. Swing and a miss. He got Ethier. The big out. 1 away here in the 6th.
It's a good pitch, settling down. See that confidence rising there. Kyle Kendrick, take a look at it. Movement. That's what he's talking about. That's what he needs. Get a lot more aggressive when you have runs on your side.
Here's A.J. Ellis. Back to the box. That's going to sneak through for a base hit. Well, we got the ground ball, but not much you can. Is 0 for 2. He grounded out and he flied out.
Yeah, here's another one of their players just not able to really get it together so far. It's also a player for me. I mean, you want to maybe try and keep that ball away if you come in off the plate inside. Just don't want to have him get those arms extended.
Well, there you go. Toward the alley in left center field. Pierre cuts it off. Ellis will stop at 3rd. 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. Is that kind of what you were talking about?
Well, he leaves it out over the plate. You can't be indecisive about it. You got to either get it in or make sure that that ball is away in this situation. We talked about a shutdown inning, and you see that comes right back into the swing of his. Really more so for me on that particular ball. The ball hitting the bat as he hitting the ball there. As the ball comes right back in, you can see how it was trickling in toward the bat.
So now Valdez is up again. He was up back in the 3rd. Phillies have played the infield back with Kennedy up, although Wigginson's in at 3rd and Kennedy takes a strike.
Continues to be aggressive, which is good. Good fastball at 90.
That's a good spot. 0-2.
That's paint. No, that's where he has that in him, to be able to paint, get that ball down like that. And confidence has a lot to do with your performance on this particular level. If he maybe widens the zone a little bit and go a little further out.
That's where Ruiz is setting up. The 0-2 pitch. He missed his spot, and Kennedy fouled it away.
And that's exactly what Carlos is going out to tell him. Hey, man, you got to get that out there a little bit further there. That ball there was right down the middle. If I want it in or if I want it out, you got to throw that outside. Now take a look where he's set up. Way outside, off the plate even. Now look where the ball is thrown. Almost right down the middle.
Again, the 0-2. That time it was a little farther outside. Kennedy was leaking out there.
Yeah, he's leaning. He's leaning. So if you see him leaning, and this is the pitch that from the left side Steve Carlton had, that cutter in or that slider down and in back foot.
He went with a changeup.
Yeah, and really the pitch that Loney hit was a slider, so maybe he doesn't have confidence in throwing a breaking ball in this situation. So whatever pitch that he hits or swings at, you want it to be the pitcher's pitch.
Got him. That time Ruiz hung on. 6 strikeouts for Kendrick. And that's a big one. That's a whopper right there. And with 2 outs, Tony Gwynn will be the hitter.
Don't know exactly what this pitch was. Up in the zone. Here's an uppercut type swing. You can see Kennedy trying to lift the ball and keep that ball there in the air.
All right, now same conversation here with first base open and runners on second and third. You have a left-hander and Gwynn up. You have Jerry Hairston Jr. in the on-deck circle, a right-handed pinch hitter. Are they talking about the same things that maybe Rick Honeycutt was talking to Capuano about?
Well, it actually appears that way because you can see action right now in the Dodger bullpen. So regardless if they walk him, you're going to see a pinch hitter. It's just that whether or not Kyle wants the left-handed hitter or the right-handed hitter in Hairston.
Gwynn tonight is tripled. He's also struck out. Runners on second and third. First pitch fouled away. It's 0-1.
Surprised at that. He usually takes that first pitch, but maybe not with men on base.
Ellis is on third. Loney's on second. Both reached with hits. Loney's was a double. One ball, one strike, the count.
Here's another one that doesn't swing at a lot of bad pitches.
Is that inherent?
Dad was definitely that way. I mean, just a boy, he hit some of the hardest line drives all over the place. Dad liked to eat a little bit more.
They are built very different.
Oh, good pitch for me. Good pitch for Charlie too. Oh, we're going to walk him now. Put him on. Decided to do that. 3-1. That's a hitting count. So we'll start over with it.
And they'll do so against a right-hander. So they'll play the odds here. Don Mattingly points to Jerry Hairston Jr.
Just going to go over exactly how they want to play him. And now Rich Dooley going out, pitch to him. Just kind of a reminder. Big situation right now. Have everybody on the same page.
Well, Chris Capuano, after the walk to Tony Gwynn, I think still upset about the home run that he allowed to Jimmy Rollins.
Yeah,
he's out of the game.
He's the one that threw the ball. Shouldn't be upset with anyone because, again, you had your choice on whether or not you wanted to walk him. I guarantee you that. And you're right. He says, hey, I'm going to go right at him. I got him out before. I'm feeling pretty good. Strikeout. Ball to. Where did he hit that ball? To right field?
Who, Rollins?
Yeah. And then the home run to left field.
Right. So now Hairston will pitch hitter. 356 hitter overall. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Hairston's brother Scott had another yesterday for the Mets. I said that to him today. He goes, oh, I know. I saw.
Yeah. He's proud of his little brother, even though little brother a lot larger than Jerry Jr.
Runners lead off. Lays off a similar pitch. They'd like an appeal, but no appeal from Darrell Cousins. Ellis is again on third. Loney's on second. Gwynn's on first. Carlos held it for a few moments, trying to sell it. What do you think here, Sarge?
I know that Harrison takes a lot of pitches just off the plate.
Yeah, just a little bit. At least from that vantage point.
You can always tell when they're looking at that knee guard.
That's a strike.
There you go. Well, that's a little bit further in, but for Harrison, he's thinking that ball's the same way, especially when it's down. Big pitch here. 2-2.
44,000 plus getting behind Kyle Kendrick. He's got a 2-run lead. The bases are loaded. He's thrown 110 pitches, and 111 is going to be a big one. The 2-2. Down and away, 3-2. So the runners will be moving.
So if he gets that ball a little bit closer to the plate, he may can get a check swing. That's why I say these pitches that you throw, you got to be somewhere around that plate.
Capuano looking on. This might be the last hitter for Kendrick either way. And now Hairston asks for time. Valdez is ready. So is Kendrick now. The 3-2 pitch. And ball 4. A run will score.
Wow. You got to have an eagle eye to take that pitch.
You have to have an eagle eye not to call it a strike. So a bases loaded walk, that'll do it for Kendrick. It's a 1-run game. Ellis scores. And Raul Valdez is going to commit to the ballgame to try to get the final out here in the top of the 6th inning. So Kyle goes 5 2/3. He'll leave with 3 runners who are his responsibility. Valdez has warmed up a couple different times in tonight's ballgame. So this is an AT&T call to the bullpen here at Citizens Bank Park. The Phillies up by 1 with a new pitcher coming in. 1 out to get in the top of the 6th inning. The runners on base, all 3 are his responsibility. That's his line right now. It includes 5 walks and 6 strikeouts and 1 hit batter. 5 2/3. So here's Valdez, who has pitched well for the Phillies. 2-0 with a 2.53 earned run average. The runs that he's allowed came in 1 outing.
Yeah.
Beyond that, he's been good.
Yep, it's just stellar.
So Charlie Manuel has to dip into his bullpen rather early. Now last night, Cliff Lee was able to pitch into the 8th inning. So guys are kind of refreshed, at least to this point. And D. Gordon lines the first pitch into right field, a base hit. 1 run scores. Here comes Gwynn. He's heading to the plate, and he'll score. It's a 2-run single, and the Dodgers retake the lead. It's 5-4 here in the 6th.
Oh, my. Well, the one thing when it's 2 outs, it's Kyle Kendricks. He's looked like he's seen enough. When you have 2 outs and you're on the bases there, you take all the guesswork out of it. Breaking ball is D. Gordon up to the task there. Here's that throw in there. You can see how it's coming in and not in time there for Hunter Pence.
Tony Gwynn runs well.
Surprised that D. Gordon isn't on second base. It's always something that you can do, and you got to be able to read it. The base hit is great, but then you have the base running.
0-1 the count to Herrera. So the walk to Hairston on a very close 3-2 pitch. And now a base hit by D. Gordon. And the Dodgers have scored 3 runs. Oh, 0-1 the count. Gordon had started, then stopped.
Davey ducking just in case.
Fly ball shallow center field. Fontenot and Victorino are out there. It's Shane who makes the call. And the inning finally comes to a close. But the Dodgers scored 3 runs, charged to the line of Kendrick, who allows 5 tonight. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Hunter Pence will lead it off for the Phillies. America's brand. Go further. Visit your Quality Plus Ford stores. Buy McDonald's. Now at McDonald's, any size soft drink or sweet tea, just $1. And by Thomas Jefferson University Hospital. Call 1-800-JEP now for an appointment.
Good.
Home half of the 6th inning. Hunter Pence, Carlos Ruiz, Shane Victorino. Jerry Hairston stays in the ball game, and he'll be at second base. And here's Todd Coffey. 13th game for Coffey, 1-0, a 7.20 earned run average. He wasn't late coming in, but he's late finishing up his warm-up tosses. Although the way that last one just arrived at the plate, it didn't look like he needed it.
Nope.
We have seen Coffey in a Brewers uniform, in a
Cincinnati
Reds uniform, a Nationals uniform, now a Dodger uniform. Hunter Pence 0 for 2. So a totally different pitcher now. You know, a finesse lefty, and now a guy that throws a little harder from the right side.
Well, hopefully base runners and timely hitting, they can get right back into it or get the lead. They're in the game. 5-4 for the Dodgers here so far.
Yeah, they've hit 3 home runs. The Phillies have in tonight's ball game. It's not often this year they have 3 home runs in a game.
No, and that's where that confidence too comes in. That you start hitting home runs, you're starting to feel, hey, I can come back from some of these games.
1-1 the count. Ty Wigginton has one of those home runs.
You know, you just don't want to get in to that situation as a team where you start saying, oh, here we go again.
It's hard to get that out of your mind, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it is. Again, Charlie talked about it. Sometimes the guys are trying almost too hard. But you got to be able to know the game. Scoreboard always dictate what you're going to do on the field. You know, and a good example, even the pitch right there looked a little bit inside, but that one a slider.
Second time tonight that Pence has been struck out. One away. Carlos Ruiz is the hitter. Speaking of Carlos, help send Carlos and other Phils like Hunter Pence, Shane Victorino to the 2012 All-Star Game in Kansas City. Fans can vote up to 25 times at Phillies.com. Help send Chooch to his first All-Star Game. Visit Phillies.com and cast your ballot now. That's all you need right there. The big old Chooch.
And you got those catchers there in the league, National League, that are having some pretty good years.
And they are, and there's no doubt about it, including the guy behind the plate for the Dodgers. But
right,
big picture, you combine defense, which includes calling a game, and the offense of this year, and that's what you need to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, to mind, obviously, Ruiz comes to mind.
Jam shot, 2 outs.
Yadier Molina with the St. Louis Cardinals as far as an offense and calling the game. I think those 2 guys are the 2 top candidates for me.
Buster Posey's very good. I mean, he's coming off the nasty injury.
Yeah. Second inning, Victorino, talk about it. He gets his foot down, clears his hips. See you later. Can't hit that ball out of the ballpark on the inside without clearing your hips. Other than that, you're going to get jammed. But the thing is, you don't always want to do that when they're off-speed pitches. He goes away.
Ball, 1 strike the count to Victorino. 5 runs on 5 hits for the Phillies, 4 runs on 4 hits. Dodgers, though, have capitalized on some walks tonight.
Yeah. Timely hitting.
Two and one. Kyle unfortunately walked 5 and hit a batter. That didn't help his cause, obviously.
Kind of way it could have maybe been able to wiggle out of that 6th inning. He would have been in really good shape because he did have a lot of pitches he had thrown up to that point.
Torino hits it right at Hairston, so this will be a 1-2-3 inning for Todd Coffey. Phillies go down quietly in their half of the 6th. We move to the 7th here in Philadelphia. Standing room only crowd watching the Phils down by 1.
Well, Phillies hit 3 home runs here tonight. You think, well, they're going to have the lead. Well, they did, but they don't anymore. Losing 5-4 as we go to the 7th inning. Former Philly Bobby Abreu files the first pitch off. Both starters are now out of the game. D. Gordon with a big 2-run single to give the Dodgers the lead there in their 3-run 6th inning.
So now as we start the 7th, it's 0-1 to Abreu. Bobby Abreu is 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Valdez in relief for Kyle Kendrick, delivers outside. And it's 1-1. Valdez came on to face 2 batters in the 6th. He allowed the single to D. Gordon that scored 2. They gave the Dodgers the lead. Then he got Herrera to fly out to center.
Yeah, Gordon was the big batter in that inning, and he wasn't able to get him out. You know, now they trail and have to try and come from behind, and that has not been a strong point.
Yeah, the base hit by Gordon, which followed the walk to Hairston that forced him to run. Toyota Major League Scoreboard. We take a peek on what's going on down in Washington. In the first place, Nationals have a 5-3 lead over the Mets. LaRoche has 4 RBIs, excuse me. Swing and a miss. Bobby Abreu has been struck out 3 times tonight. These lucky fans are tonight's Citizen 7. They were interested in a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. One out. Ethier is 0 for 3. That wasn't a bad spot to start the at bat team there. Ethier just missed inside. That's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. A fastball.
Playing Ethier the other way, and you know, you think they would pitch him away there too, because his power is middle in.
Off the end of the bat, a flare to right field. Here comes Hunter, and he makes the catch. Every time the Phillies retire the opposing team 1, 2, 3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports, giving you all your favorite sports all year long. With 2 outs, A.J. Ellis will be the batter. He's 1 for 3. Good pitch. Good breaking ball. It dropped right on in there.
Ellis got that 3-run inning started with a 1-out hippity-hop single to center field when they scored the 3 runs last inning. Only right-handed hitter in the starting lineup tonight.
Now they have a second in Jerry Hairston.
Yeah, Hairston stayed in the game.
Another one off the end of the bat. Mayberry in foul territory is there. Good job by Valdez. A very quick 7th inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Dodgers. Now, after we stretch here at Citizens Bank Park, Ty Wigginton will start it off for the Phils. More time. The question: name the last National League player to hit 30 or more home runs and steal 40 or more bases before Matt Kemp did it in 2011.
Well, I think the guy who struck out 3 times tonight for the Dodgers has done it in his career, so I'm going to go with him. Bobby Abreu.
Bobby Abreu. That's a good guess. You're close, but you are incorrect.
He did do it, didn't he?
Well,
I think he did.
I don't know. I didn't even look to see if he did, because that's not the answer.
Who is it?
His former teammate, Jimmy Rollins.
Oh, wow.
30 home runs, 41 steals. Log back on thepphillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. And Wheels, thank you for playing Dodge Stump the Fans.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Tom, to play every night.
Ty Wigginton will lead it off against Todd Coughlin. Want to know the count. So here we go. Phil's down by 1. Bottom of the 7th inning. Elbert is warming in the pen for the Dodgers. Bastardo warming for the Phillies.
Bobby Abreu hit 30 home runs, stole 40 bases in 04.
See, you were on track.
Good guess, but
through the hole, through the glove of both Herrera and Gordon. Second hit for Ty Wigginton.
Herrera's not a real good third baseman. Now, as soon as I say this, he'll make some spectacular
diving
play.
Stop over the third.
Fires a second one. Back to double. But, you know, he has misplayed some balls tonight. He doesn't read the hop properly on this. Watch, he gets caught in between right there, and he lets the ball play him. And, of course, now there's nothing D. Gordon to do. He has to come hard for that and get that first hop. If he has any chance, you know, you can still do it on the second hop, but the ball's got a chance to play you when you do that.
So now Mayberry. He'll be followed by Fontenot. I think I said Galvis before, but Fontenot. Freddie, as we were just told, left with lower back stiffness.
Yeah, it looked like when he hit that changeup off the end of the bat, he may have done it. To his credit, he could try to gut it out, but he just couldn't do it. He did swing 2 more times.
One ball, no strikes.
Ty Coffey in his second inning. He's always been a guy that, pretty durable. He could pitch more than an inning. Doing that here, trying to do that for them tonight.
Imagine that Wiggins is going anywhere.
You wonder if those are throwovers, because you wouldn't think the pitcher would throw over there on his own. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, Don Mattingly's given the signs to A.J. Ellis.
Coffey basically going to throw a lot of sinkers. He reminds you of Chad Qualls a little bit. He's a sinker slider guy.
Almost a quick pitch from Coffey. He doesn't do a whole lot of things quickly, but he looked like he was quick to the plate.
That's another way he's trying to hold the runner on that he thinks is going to go.
Jamie Wright, boy, he's been around for a long time. Swing and a miss by, I think he's swinging a foul by Mayberry, and it remains 2-2. Jamie Wright, you want to talk about a guy that's resurrected his career up and down, up and down. Used to be a starting pitcher for the Colorado Rockies. Long time.
They've been there the same time Allerton was. He's now in the Phillies minor league system.
Again, it's 2-2.
He just keeps bumping sinkers at him.
Off the end of the bat to right field. Ethier is over. And Wiggins will go back to first. So one gone. Here's Fontenot. Let's see what Don Mattingly's going to do. He does have the lefty ready. And Jim Thome is lurking in the dugout to pinch hit for the pitcher. So he may go get Coffey here and bring in the left-hander. In fact, he's going to make a double switch. So he'll bring the lineup card out to Darrell Cousins.
Look at some of his right-handed hitters in the lineup.
Yeah, Castellanos is going to come in to play left field. So Bobby Abreu will exit. And it looks like they'll bring in a left-hander from the bullpen to face Mike Fontenot. So we got a couple changes for the Dodgers here at the bottom of the 7th. We'll let you know about them when we come back. base. The Dodgers have decided for a double switch. They bring in Elbert on the hill, left-hander, 24th game, 0-0, a 3.45 earned run average. And they changed their left fielder as well. Castellanos has come in to play left field for the Dodgers. There he is, young man out of Miami. He's got some pretty good speed. And Mike Fontenot will be the batter for the Phillies. So lefty on lefty.
They got him from the Cardinals last year in the for Caldwell.
Fontenot has batted for one pitch tonight, and he walked and scored a run.
Phillies really strapped on that bench right now. With Polanco, we don't know if he's available for anything.
We were told before the game that he wasn't. There's Jim Thome.
Galvis, Freddie getting hurt, so Fontenot has to come in. Luna is available. Brian Schneider's available, and you said Thome as a pinch hitter. But you can't keep him in the game.
1-0 the count.
So it looked kind of sweet when they were ahead 4-2. You know, to be ahead in the game and not have to worry about a whole lot of moves, but unfortunately they now have to worry about moves.
Hector Luda's come out of the on-deck circle for the Phillies. That one is back in front of us. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. There's Hector. Now, they could wind up using Thome anyway. If the Phillies send Luna up, then maybe Don Mattingly makes another pitching change to bring in Jamie Wright, but I doubt it. I would think he would want Elbert on Luna instead of Wright on Thome.
Right, that's where he has to decide on a matchup that he wants.
Fontenot hits it to left. Castellanos is there. And there are 2 outs. And here comes Hector Luna. The home run for Luna was a grand slam in Chicago. Phillies have lost 4 straight. The Nationals, who are in first place, are leading tonight 5-3. Atlanta's leading Miami. That game's at the bottom of the 9th inning. Miami's not threatening. There are 2 outs. So the Phillies are in obvious need of a win, and that's an obvious statement. The way things are going on in the East. Luna takes strike 1. It's 0-1. Outside, 2-1 the count. To center field. Gwynn on the run. He has plenty of room. That'll do it for the inning. So the Phillies get a base runner. They do not score. Elbert does his job out of the bullpen for the Dodgers. On to the 8th inning. The Phils trail it by 1. Game 3. ChevroletChevyDealer.com. By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. And by Toyota, every new Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. Top of the 8th inning, Antonio Bastardo is going to come in for the Phils. They're down by 1, 5-4. They've hit 3 home runs tonight, but they still trail it by 1. Bastardo, 23rd game, 2-1, a 2.60 earned run average. So Valdez goes an inning and a third. He does allow a couple of inherited runners to score in relief of Kyle Kendrick. And Bastardo will face James Loney. And Castellanos, who's in the on-deck circle, he's going to bat in what was the pitcher's spot and Kennedy's spot before that. It's gone final down in Miami. The Braves have defeated the Marlins 2-1. What's up with winning at home this year for a few of these teams?
The Marlins have scored 1 run in 2 games at home. Shut out last night, 1 tonight.
They're 16-12 at home. I know we keep talking about this over and over and over again, but there are a number of things that are stunning for the Phillies so far this year. But that's a big one. The fact that they're so far under 500 at home.
Yeah.
Here at a place that's been such an advantage for them over the years. One and one, the count to Loney. And 2 balls and 1 strike. Now it's 2-2. This is a 10-game road trip for the Dodgers. The Phillies will go on a 9-game road trip after the series. Dodgers are 3-2 so far on this trip. I have to admit, just looking at their team, I mean, nothing against the guys that are filling in, but they have the best record in baseball. And Andre Ethier is obviously their biggest star that's left, but there's not a lot of big foundation pieces.
No, but they're just playing winning baseball right now.
Right.
That guy, you know, being on the disabled list, Matt Kemp, really hurts him because he was off to such a tremendous start, and he blew that tire, and he's going to be out for a while.
And Loney has his 2nd hit.
Well, just the way they played in this series. Now, granted, the Phillies are a struggling team, but the way they played in this series, they get big hits when they need them. I mean, they got the 2-run hit with the bases loaded when they need it.
Well, it's time now for a Coors Light Freeze Can. The Phillies have been banged up tonight. Hunter Pence, look at, he bent his wrist forward, his hand forward earlier in the ball game. Dropped the glove, still made the play. Then the Phillies lost Freddie Galvis on a swing and a run before that, and that's where he said he was done. Hurt his back. Coors Light Freeze Can brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Hunter has continued, and seems like he's okay.
Putting tape on it. There's nothing on that wrist, right? No, doesn't appear that way.
0-1 the count. Castellanos. They get 0-2. The little guy came up with that foul ball.
There he is.
There he is, all smiles.
Yep.
There's a fastball cut on a miss. Good pitch by Bastardo. 8th strikeout for Phil's pitching tonight. Kyle Kendrick struck out 6. That was 1 shy of his career high.
He threw a lot of fastballs at Castellanos right here, and there's the 3rd one. threw it right by him. Guy has a big swing. He's right on the end of the bat and a big long swing. But he has hit for some power in the minor leagues, especially.
Tony Gwynn has scored twice tonight.
Well, they fell behind him, then decided to walk him, and that backfired because then Hairston walked with the bases loaded, and Gordon got the base hit to put them ahead for a 3-run inning.
Runner goes, delayed steal. Loney, I don't know if he just missed something or if there was supposed to be a hit and run and he started late, was indecisive. But Ruiz didn't see it right away.
Yeah, he's got that left-handed hitter in front of right base blocking his view down there, and he didn't know what's going on.
Two and one the count. Over the American League, the Orioles have defeated the Red Sox 2-1. It's a point last week where I think a lot of folks thought, all right, well, this is the time of the year where the Orioles are going to cool off. Not so fast.
Well, we're going to catch them up close and personal in a few days, find out what they're like.
They're 18-11 on the road and one game over 500 at home. Swing and a miss. 2-2 to Gwynn.
That's a great ballpark to go down to Camden Yards down there in Baltimore, and also Neat City. You know, with the setting that they have down there, so it should be fun to get down. It's been a while since the Phillies have been there.
Two balls, 2 strikes the count. Swing and a miss. He got him with a slider, set him up with his fastballs. Back-to-back strikeouts for Bastardo. And so with 2 away, he has to deal with Hairston, a right-handed batter, and it is going to be his inning. As we mentioned last week, tight games, leading in the 8th inning. Bastardo, at least to start, will be the 8th inning guy. And a lot of that will depend on his use and whether he's able to go back-to-back games or not. So here we are in a 1-run game in the top of the 8th, and it's his inning. Hairston walked and forced in a run as a pinch hitter his first time up. Takes strike 1. It's 0-1. He walked on what was a close pitch. The replay looked like it was outside, but it was a really close pitch.
The pitch earlier in the count, a changeup that was really close.
Lynn Bloom is warming in the pen.
Everybody they bring in throws up goose eggs in the series.
Everybody they bring in, you've never heard of. Yep. At least for the most part. Guy with the sweatshirt that's walking right there is their closer, Kenley Jansen.
Well, they have given up nothing. 1 hit before tonight out of their bullpen.
Belisario, we saw him in game 1. He got hit with that ball right back to the box. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Hairston. Just a tad outside. It's 1-2. That ball got away from Ruiz. It just ate him up inside. And going to second is Loney. It's going to be scored a wild pitch to Antonio Bastardo.
He had no chance to catch that. Well, no chance. He has a chance, but he set up a way, it looked like, and that thing came way inside. Well, he actually, well, you know what? Absolutely wrong. He boxed that. I thought he was set up more than that. It just fooled him. And, you know, he just didn't catch it. But they did call it a wild pitch.
They did, yeah. He was cutting every which way.
Yeah.
Now it's 3-2 to Hairston. Kind of the same situation he had last time. He worked the count into his favor, 3-2.
Well,
then walked for D. Gordon.
Yeah, he doesn't have to pitch to Hairston. He does not have to give in to Hairston now. Carlos Ruiz, and see what they do and go after D. Gordon left. Don't want to give up another run with 2 outs to a right-handed hitter, a base open, a left-handed hitter on deck.
Fouled it back toward the Hall of Fame club. And out of play. So Loney will walk back to second. Giants have already won in the West, so the Dodgers lead is at 4 right now, or 3.5 right now. All of a sudden the Giants are creeping up in that West. 3-2 pitch. Got him. Got him with a slider toward the outer edge. He came back to strike out the last 3 hitters after allowing the leadoff single to James Loney. So a nice job by Bastardo. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Top of the order is due up for the Phillies. Of the game, Freddie Galvis is no longer in the ball game, but way back early on, this was a heck of a play. Not an easy play on a ball off the bat of A.J. Ellis, but he tracked it beautifully and then reached back to make the catch. That may have been where he tweaked his back, which caused him to leave the game a little later on. Liberty Mutual, responsibility. What's your policy? So the Phillies have 6 outs to work with. They're down by 1. And as we go to the top of the order, the Dodgers will go to the bullpen again. The new pitcher is Josh Lindblom. He's been good also. 27th game for him. We saw him earlier in this series. And he's on to face Rollins. 13 for his last 34. Hit a home run earlier. In fact, for the 4th time this year, the Phillies have 3 home runs in a game.
And they had a base open at that time too, and Pierre on deck, left situation. He did a changeup though, didn't he?
You know what, Wheels? That's a good question. I think it was.
I think it was. I think Capuano was in a way trying to pitch around him, but yet he did throw him some strikes. It looked like the pitch he hit out may have been off the plate a little bit, but they did have the base open, and you know, they had gone out and talked about it before Jimmy came up.
Rollins was taking 1-0. Now he swings 2-1. Phillies have Diekman and Papelbon loosening in the pen. Just need 1. 2 would be great. 8 would be even better.
He needs something, a little energy going right now. Get the crowd into it.
They nearly did it.
Yeah, they were earlier. You know, they were hitting those homers. It was loud here. It was fun again, like it has been at times. But they just can't sustain anything, nor can they keep the lead.
That was like last night. Last night going into the 8th inning, this place felt like 2008, 9, 10, 7, you name it.
Yeah, that was an old days feeling last night.
So it's 2-2 to Rollins.
Lindblom faced Pierre, Pence, and Ruiz last night. Got 3 fly balls to center field.
High fastball, 1 away. Thursday, July 26th, the annual Phillies Festival. Proceeds benefiting the ALS Association, the Greater Philadelphia chapter, will take place. The night features 2012 player and coaches autograph and photo booths, grab bags and games, silent auction and live auction. The alumni photo booth featuring Mike Schmidt and Greg Luzinski. Tickets go on sale this Monday at 9 o'clock, June 11th. 215-463-1000. Pierre takes strike 1. Pierre is 0 for 3, hitless in the series.
Have Herrera, the third baseman, in case Pierre tries to bunt. The first baseman, Loney's all the way, not all the way back, but you see where he is, behind the bag.
And the first base hit of the series for Juan. So the Phillies have a base runner for the second straight inning, and it'll bring Hunter Pence to the plate. Last night, with the Phillies down by 1, in the 9th inning, they got a base runner. Mayberry pinch ran for Wigginton, but the Phillies didn't score. Here in the 8th, they get a base runner with 1 out. And let's see if they can get something going. Way outside, it's 1 ball and no strikes.
Looks like it's Lindblom's inning, too, because there's nobody up in their pen.
From Citizens Bank Park, Game 3 of a 4-game series. Phillies and the Dodgers, along with Chris Wheeler. I'm Tom McCarthy. Sarge is around the ballpark somewhere. Greg Murphy is here as well. Hope you're enjoying your night. I know it would be better if the Phils can score a couple here in this inning. And a strike to Pence.
We challenge him there. They've gone into a guarding the line now at third, and the outfielder is very deep. Trying to stay away from an extra base hit here in a 1-run game. There you can see their defense.
One the count to Pence. Outside, 2-1.
Hunter Pence can hit a home run anywhere in the ballpark, but it appears that Lindblom and Ellis are going to try and stay away from him, and if he beats him, it's going to be the other way. And they also know he pulls off a lot, you know, and it's sometimes hard for him to reach that stuff away.
That's how they've been pitching him.
Yeah, well, you would. You rarely see teams come into him.
Chopper back toward the middle. Gordon is there. Tough hop. He got to second. Throws to first in time. That was a flashy double play started by D. Gordon and really turned by D. Gordon. Not an easy hop. He got that first. Then he found the bag ahead of Pierre right there, and then he whizzed the throw to first to James Loney. This is some defense by the young shortstop to wrap up the 8th inning. since last October. Plus, Doc addresses his health for the first time since being placed on the DL and reports on the Eagles' organized team activities. Get all the news Philly fans need to know on Sports Night, presented by Toyota. Tonight at 10, only on Comcast Sportsnet. I should say after the game on Comcast Sportsnet. Well, Jake Diekman's in as we go to the top of the 9th inning. His job is the same job as Bastardo in the 8th. Keep it at a one-run game.
And they will get Kenley Jansen up again, too. The right-hander has been so tough the last 2 nights in a save situation. There's the numbers on Diekman, and there is Jansen. He's just come in throwing hard cutters for the most part and been very effective. Kenny Howell right there is the bullpen coach. Good to see him back. He was out for a little while with some illness, and talked to him the other day. He says he's feeling a lot better. He's good years here with the Phillies.
The thing you forget about him is that he is a big man.
Oh yeah, and a gentle giant. Good guy.
D. Gordon, who has the big hit tonight, the go-ahead 2-run single in the 6th inning, leads it off in the 9th. Four hits for Gordon in 11 at-bats in the series. Could be the thinnest player you've ever seen. Not Jake Diekman, but D. Gordon.
It's amazing. And he just did make. He's very athletic, obviously. He looks like he knocked the bat out of his hands. And sometimes they do. I mean, he's only hitting .231, but he got a big hit last time. It's a hit that has him ahead in the game.
And a bunt. They got Diekman off the mound. Has to throw low in time. Nice play by Mayberry.
Well, Diekman throws heavy sinkers, and he threw one to Mayberry there.
Did a good job, though, in simplifying his motion after getting the ball.
I thought he waited too long. I thought he wound up too much and wasn't going to be able to get him. See, that last little move. Oh, that is a good play. Because he struggled a little bit with his delivery, throwing the ball to first base, but you really have to hurry with D. Gordon.
Yeah, because he's usually longer, just watching him, longer with his throws, and he kind of shortened up his.
Yeah. Well, he didn't have much choice, I guess.
Herrera with 1 out. Switch hitter batting right-handed. 0 for 2 with 2 walks tonight. Swing and a miss. An explosive 96-mile-an-hour fastball from Diekman. Nationals have won. Braves have won. Those 2 games that they won tonight comprise the rest of the National League East. Washington defeated the Mets. Atlanta defeated Miami.
Yeah, Washington Nationals playing really well, building up a little bit of a lead, and especially on a team like the Phillies. And they're looking at the Phillies saying, "God, boys, keep losing, because we know you're going to get better at some point, but we want you to be way back when you do."
Juan Rivera's come out of the on-deck circle, and because of that, Schwimmer's warming in the pen, I would think. Although they may not go with him if they're 2 outs. We'll see. There's Schwimmer downstairs, Jansen upstairs, and Rivera over yonder. One-two pitch. And a line drive, base hit to left center field. Who are these guys? And Herrera is going to have an extra base hit.
And they get it done. And they have been in this series.
So Rivera is about to be introduced.
He lines that ball in the right center field. Looks a little stronger from the right side. That's where he hit that double off the wall last night. Really ripped that ball in the gap in left center. Probably is a natural right-handed hitter the more you watch him.
So Rivera will pinch hit. Diekman will stay in because with 1 out, you have Ethier on deck. Another left-handed hitter. When you're out of lefties, at least warming up, Savory's sitting down. Slider in there for strike, 0-1. 0-2. He ate him up with that pitch, didn't he?
That was a breaking ball. Looked like a slider.
Well, they got the wave going here at Citizens Bank Park. From top to bottom. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball away, 1-2. It's unfortunate, but for first time in a while, they haven't had a whole lot to cheer about. So they're entertaining themselves, the fans are. Swing and a miss. He got him. First base is unoccupied. Rivera is going to get there. Herrera goes to third. So a strikeout, and we'll see how they score it. I could not tell whether that hit the dirt or not. I thought it was just off the glove of Carlos.
Yeah, it didn't hit the dirt. I was watching on the monitor. He knows he should catch this. It's a hard slider. I mean, it's a pitch is a tough pitch, but it did not hit the dirt.
So it's a strikeout, and the runner is aboard either by a pass ball or a wild pitch. They are going to score a pass ball. So that's the third pass ball for Carlos. And Andre Ethier is the batter. Ethier is hitless in 4 at-bats tonight.
Carlos Ruiz has been so good all year in all facets of the game. Even he's a little human right now, making a few mistakes tonight.
He's also a little annoyed. You can see it by his face.
Very much so, because he knows, that's not a tough pitch for him to handle. Even though Diekman is kind of new to him, and that is a hard breaking ball. It didn't have to hit the ground.
So runners lead off first and third. And a slider inside. It's 1-0.
He missed the spot there. That was supposed to be away, and it was in.
Jim Wolf says Ethier went around, and it's 1-1. Certainly went around on that. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I mean, he really has to stay with that pitch with Ethier. They haven't seen Diekman before. Keep throwing that slider to a left-handed hitter so he can get a strikeout here. Maybe see your way out of this. Set up away and throw the breaking ball away.
Another breaking pitch, swung on and missed. 2 outs here in the 9th inning.
Good job by Carlos and Diekman, but of course there really was no other way to go with Ethier. Just keep throwing the slider away and make him swing. I hope he'll swing at it.
A.J. Ellis just looked over to the dugout to see if Charlie was going to make a change, but I think partly what you were saying, that they haven't seen him yet.
He just struck a right-handed hitter out.
Yeah, and a guy that's a veteran.
Right, and the right, obviously Diekman is much more difficult on left-handed hitters than he is on right.
With runners on first and third, Ellis watches as Diekman steps off.
Yeah, he either didn't like the pitch or the location, and we'll go through it again.
Fastball way in, 1-0.
technically have a base open right now. You know, and Loney's on deck. So really, you do not have to give in to Ellis. Although, you know, put the heat on a kid with the bases loaded, but still, he eats up left-handed hitters.
Fights off a fastball. It's 2-1. Looked like Carlos had set up outside. That pitch came cutting inside. So ball 4, and it will bring Loney to the plate. Sometimes you cringe when a pitcher walks a guy, but in that case,
it's okay.
It was to bring up a lefty on lefty.
Yeah, you know, he has no wiggle room, of course, but still, that was all right. That's what we're talking about. That he had a base open, even though it doesn't look like he has a base open because it's first and third.
So the bases are loaded. Herrera, Rivera, and Ellis, and now Loney is up. Loney's 2 for 4 tonight.
And he needs to work Loney just the way he worked Ethier. And if Loney beats him, he beats him. Carlos Ruiz, he set up inside there for a fastball. He missed his spot by a lot. And they're really fortunate there wasn't a wild pitch there. Hard for a catcher to anticipate anything like that. A breaking ball, at least they can anticipate it in the dirt. Fastball,
Low again, and it's 2-0.
Well, that's what you're worried about with a young pitcher. You know, if they put Ellis on there, and they didn't put him on intentionally, but if they do, now he's got nowhere to go.
You surprised that they didn't start him off with a slider first? I mean, he's gone back-to-back fastballs, and I'm not saying his fastball isn't good. It is good, but it's just you know, he had made Andre Ethier look so bad on that slider.
Well, when he fell behind there 1-0, I think he went with another fastball, thinking, well, Loney's not going to chase a slider ahead.
That's true. Count. I just thought he'd start him off with a slider. So 2-0. And he throws a fastball for a strike.
Good spot.
A little extra giddy up on it too. 97 miles an hour. Throws the slider. He's not biting. 3-1.
No, that was a ball out of his hand.
Phillies have only had one guy in scoring position tonight. The Dodgers have had a boatload. Castellanos is in the on-deck circle. And there's ball 4. So for the second time tonight, a bases-loaded walk is forced in a run. Some insurance for the Dodgers as they now take a 6-4 lead. Charlie Manuel's coming out. That's going to be it for Diekman. So he walks back-to-back hitters. And Michael Schwimmer's going to come in. So the right hitter is going to come in to face the right-handed hitter. We have a pitching change here at Citizens Bank Park. The Dodgers on top by 2. Is friendly for the Phils. They trail it by 2. And now Michael Schwimmer's on in a bases loaded situation in his 8th ball game. And Schwimmer will face Alex Castellanos. Jake Diekman had a couple strikeouts and a couple walks in the inning. Unfortunately, something that doesn't usually happen. A pass ball to Ruiz has lengthened the inning. And now the bases remain loaded for the Dodgers. They've already scored a run. And it's up to Schwimmer to stop the bleeding right here. And he throws a slider away. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Castellanos 0 for 1. He struck out in the 8th. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
This guy probably, you know, he must have some pop, but he looks like he can overpower him too, because he has a big swing. But don't hit his bat.
Two and 2 the count.
He late there. Schwimmer just throwing all fastballs, and this guy is right down on the end of the bat.
He's not a big guy either, but he's got a big swing.
Yeah, big swing. You know, and like I say, you just don't want to get it in an area where he can handle it, because it looks like he can overpower it.
Ground ball to third. Wigginton stays down on it. Across the diamond in time, and the inning is over. An unearned run scores in the top of the 9th inning. So as we go to the bottom of the 9th, last chance for the Phils. They trail it by 2. Park, and for the 3rd straight night, Kenley Jansen is going to take over and try to record the save. He has 8 saves and 11 opportunities, and he has 2 saves already in this series. So he'll face Carlos Ruiz, Shane Victorino, Ty Wigginton. Those are the 3 batters that are scheduled. Our W. Mason delivery of the game. Phillies have hit 3 home runs tonight. In the 6th inning, this wasn't a home run, and it wasn't a Philly.
No, that was D. Gordon with the bases loaded, and Valdez had just come into the game. Phillies were still up by a run. Looked like he threw him a breaking ball out over the plate a little bit, and D. Gordon hit it hard into right field for the base hit. Gave them the lead that they still enjoy, and that's our W.B. Mason delivery of the game. And this guy coming in has pitched 2 innings in this series. He's given up 1 hit and struck out 4.
Dodgers bullpen this series. Well, there you go. 6 strikeouts, 3 hits in 7 innings of work.
Yeah, they haven't given up anything.
Carlos tonight 1 for 3. His single was back in the 4th. Phillies have the 3 home runs tonight, but their other 3 hits are singles. Carlos shows bunt.
Good idea. And he's got the third baseman Herrera all the way back. You get the bunt down the third baseline, bring the tying run to the plate. If he were the tying run, that's not a good play.
1 ball and 1 strike. Carlos takes it at the knees.
This guy just seems to throw a lot of cutters to right and left-handed hitters and has really been effective with them.
Looks like a regular breaking ball slider, yeah.
That definitely looked more like a slide. Was according to the board, he had that thing had a lot of loop and not loop but break to it, tilt to it.
Inside, and it's 2-2.
Well, they both wanted that.
Well, don't forget, tomorrow is a day game here at Citizens Bank Park. It's a Citizens Bank Business Person Special. Cole Hamels against Aaron Harang. That is a 105 first pitch. It's always funny to look in the notes for the Dodgers or any West Coast team, see 10:05 a.m. first pitch.
Yeah.
Look out. Ooh.
Wonder where the Dodgers are at. They're going to Seattle. Huh?
Yeah, it's the continuation of this road trip.
How about that road trip for them? Everything was right on the way. Los Angeles to Denver to Philadelphia to Seattle.
That's silly.
That is silly.
Carlos is fighting here. It's 2-2. He's going to see at least 7 pitches.
He's really battling this tough right-hander. You hope could maybe be a little bit tired after the way, pitching as much he has in the series.
4th appearance in his last 5 games.
Yeah. He seems to still have some bullets. Should make him work. You never know. He could be a little bit arm weary.
Victorino on deck. Here comes the 3-2 pitch to Ruiz. Reaches out and pokes it foul, out of play.
Tough pitch to lay off. It probably was ball 4, but close. In and out of the glove, Ellis. I'd pitch it back. Coming up on 10.
To the count, the pitch. We're coming up now on 11 pitches. Need a base runner to bring the tying run to the plate.
Jansen's really down with his pitches too. He's throwing everything down in the zone, and they are close. And they were way too close to take. What if they'd elevate one here after all these pitches down? That was right down the middle, and it was a strike. See what this is. That's right in the middle of the plate.
Just like everything else, though, he still has that late movement on him. He has some kind of grip.
He cuts a lot of stuff, is what it looks like. His throws to second must have been interesting. He's a catcher.
It's now 3-2 to Carlos. And the pitch. Inside, it hit him. A.J. Ellis is saying that he swung as he was trying to get out of the way of that. So the tying run is coming to the plate.
You know, you can appeal that if Darryl Cousins wants to, but I don't think he swung it. This is a very difficult way to get on. What a great at bat by Carlos. Watch right here. No, he didn't even come close to swinging at that. And how? My goodness.
Looks like it hit him in the elbow and a shot down to his leg.
Gee. Take a beat.
Let this entire body open as he started to turn.
Yeah, he was just trying to get out of the way. That thing came. Everything cut away from him. That thing came running at him.
Victorino's 1 for 3. His homer came right-handed. Shows bunt. Takes it low. It's 1-0.
And that's for a base hit. You know, obviously, he's not sacrificing. That's what he's thinking about as a hit here. Another really kind of, swing if you can, because you get a big hole in the right side. They're not necessarily in double play depth, but there's still a big hole over there.
I figured he was taking a pitch with all the pitches that have been thrown already by Jansen.
Yeah, he was just kind of waggling the bat maybe in front of the catcher's face in the first pitch.
To right center field. That's pretty well hit. Gwynn on the run. He's going to get there. And he makes the catch. Ball kind of died. He didn't get it on the sweet spot of the bat. So 1 out here in the 9th inning. And now it'll be Ty Wigginton, who also is homer tonight.
No, as Tom said, he doesn't get it. Looks like it's down on the end a little bit. It is. So as a result, it's a big part of the ballpark.
It was close.
Yeah, he's more barrel than you think. But it's a big part of the ballpark. He just died.
Wigginson's home run came back in the 5th. He singled his last time up. 2 hits tonight in 3 official at-bats. That ball gets away from A.J. Ellis. So Ruiz will go up to second. Carlos took a big turn around second. And they scored a wild pitch.
Here's Ty Wigginton's home run off the starter Chris Capuano. Looked like a fastball, and he nailed it deep to left center field and hit it out of the ballpark. Capuano's a pitcher record, huh?
He is. He was down 4-2, and his team scored the 3 runs in the 6th to give him the lead. Now it's a 2-run lead. At a strike, 1-1.
Right back there for Darryl Cousins, too. This is a long game. This is getting ready for the DH games.
Jim Thome, speaking of DH games, is in the on-deck circle. Field. That's going to be in for a base hit. It's going to go to the wall. Ruiz is going to score. Wigginton hustling to second. Here's the throw. The slide in time with an RBI double. And it's a 1-run game. 3-hit night for Wigginton. And Jim Thomey's going to be introduced as a pinch hitter. And Murph, this is the spot. This is what Charlie Manuel's going to use Jim Thomey for, it seems, the rest of the year, aside from DHing against the American League teams.
Be his role right now. This is why he is back in the lineup for situations just like this. Charlie talked about it today, and he was asked, how is Jim going to be able to stay fresh? How is he going to be able to, continue to keep his stroke? He said, well, it's going to be up to him to, take some extra batting practice against some pitchers that are throwing, hard fastballs, and also to go into the cage. They have a cage here at Citizens Bank Park that can throw up to 100 miles an hour, and that's where he's going to have to do it. That's where he's going to have to keep his swing sharp, because as you guys pointed out earlier in the game, he's not going to be able to get regular bats by playing the field.
I asked him today how it was down in Clearwater, how he's feeling. He said great. He said it's great to be back. He said it was like spring training all over again. He said the biggest thing, and I know Charlie probably talked about this too, Murph, was just getting at bats. He said that was huge for him down in Clearwater.
No doubt about it. I mean, that's the key, to get your timing down, and it's for situations just like this that they have a guy like Jim Thomey on this roster.
All right, here we go. Thomey's up with the tying run at second base, a one-run game, and the pitch from Jansen. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Jim with 604 lifetime home runs. He hasn't homered this year.
4 pinch hit home runs.
It's a 21 pitch or 20 pitch inning so far for Jansen.
He's just not as sharp as he was because he's been used so much.
Just 2 hits and 18 at bats for Thomey. And he takes outside. That's one thing he does too, is he knows the strike zone. Thomey does. That was one of the concerns, was if he doesn't play, will he still be able to have enough crispness to understand the strike zone? I guess it all goes hand in hand.
Yep.
The 1-1 pitch.
Just overpowered him right now.
And a called strike 3. Got him with a fastball looking. Well, there are 2 outs now in the 9th, and here comes Mike Fontenot. Coming up after the ball game, it's Phillies post-game live. It's presented by Cure Auto Insurance with the analysis of Chris Coast, and they'll run down the highlights of this ball game, plus look ahead to Game 4 of this series. It's Phillies post-game live coming up right after the ball game. So Thomey is rung up. There are 2 outs. And now it's left to Mike Fontenot to try to get the tying run home in a 1-run game.
The outfielder playing the more shallow is the center fielder, Gwynn.
Brian Schneider's on deck. Fontenot takes inside. It's 1-0. Fontenot is 0 for 1 with a walk tonight.
Samuel probably gamble here.
Think so?
I do. With 2 outs.
Good arm in left, good arm in right.
Yeah, I mean, unless they're just such a flat-out bullet hit right at somebody, but they're deep in the corners.
Ball nearly got away.
When you look in the outfield, you see Wynn's the only one who's fairly shallow. The other guys are really deep. Ball to Ethier, you can score.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But he has to play a little deeper on the pull side because he doesn't want to ball over his head in the tying run to get the second or the winning run. I mean, that's why they gamble with the right fielder playing that deep on a guy's pull side with the score the way it is.
2-1 the count to Fontenot. Way upstairs, 3-1. Schneider's going to come out and pinch hit.
think Kenley Jansen is getting a little bit arm weary. You know, especially the way these things are sailing right now.
Three and two the count. Wigginton leads off second. Three and two, 2 outs, bottom of the ninth inning. The Phillies have not had a walk-off win in the ninth inning this year. They've had one in the 10th inning. Outside, ball 4. The game continues.
They do have somebody out.
Looks like it's right. He was up before. He was throwing in the bullpen. Wonder if Belisario, who got hit with that line drive earlier in the series, if he's still a little nicked up and maybe not available. Davey Lopes aligning the defense. Rick Honeycutt on the phone.
Snyder has never faced Jansen.
It is right. So Brian pitch hitting here, 276 hitter. And he takes low and in, 1 ball and no strikes.
I'm surprised that they're still keeping Ethier that deep. Now look at this. They put a big overshift on too for Snyder. See where D. Gordon is, but look where the second baseman is.
Phillies have scored a run in this inning. Now Ellis will go out and talk to Jensen, who's thrown 30 pitches.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Well, one thing you know is he's not closing tomorrow. If they
You don't
get
think
it,
so?
I don't think so. Well, they want to be able to use him again this year. Get him right now. Just pretend he's Broxton.
Oh, that is a long foul ball.
That is the ultimate ooh-ah ball right there.
That was right over the winter Ford sign on the third deck.
That's a long. He got out front on a fastball a little bit. They're trying to do something with their outfield right now. They're moving Castellanos well over towards left center. Look at these pitches here tonight. That's what I meant about the Darryl Cousins behind the plate. He's had a long night.
The 1-1 to Schneider. Popped him up. This should do it. Loney, the first baseman, comes running down. And for the first time since September of last year, the Phillies have lost 5 consecutive games. They lose tonight by a final of 6-5. And the Dodgers have taken the first 3 games of this series. Well, the Phils did have the tying run at second base, the go-ahead run or winning run over at first, but unable to push it across the plate. D. Gordon, our Chevrolet player of the game, his 2-run base hit proved to be the game winner for the Los Angeles Dodgers. So they win it 6-5. The Phils fall farther back in the East. They're now 6 out behind the Nationals.